Okay, now to move all this, just like so. Okay, there we go. There we go. Welcome to Beer for Queers MC. Jesus Christ, everyone showed up already? God damn. Man, alright. Well, fucking YouTube decided to recommend to show people up, like, right off the bat. Alright. Hey, fucking, yeah. Hey, so what's this? The reason Latin is dead language is because they kept accidentally summoning demons during regular conversations. Hey, Zukov! Hey! 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 What the fuck? Hey! Oi! Oi! What the hell? Dog! Hey! Get over here! The mic is very muffled again. Ah, fucking hell. Hold on. Should be okay, I think. I mean, it looks like it should be alright. Maybe I just had it blocked off. Ah, fucking piece of shit. Come on. Just stay there. Aye, fucking aye. Man, dog. Crackly and muffled. What the fuck? Aye. Alright, hold on. What about now? What about now? Is that better? Worse? Something? Hopefully, better? Aye. There. Same? Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, hold on. Here. Let me do this. I want to see how bad this is. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, it was connected to these fucking Bluetooth speaker. It was connected to these fucking things. That's what it was, wasn't it? That's what it was, wasn't it? Like, that had to have been it. Like, cause, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I think these were connected and I just turned these off, so I think that's what was going on, because, actually, yeah, I think that's what it was. It was these, because, I was at a paper mill that was abandoned, and we were just checking out the place, and that's kind of a way to kind of communicate if we happen to be, like, a little distance from each other, instead of like, hey, what's up, stuff like that. We would use that instead. A paper mill. Yeah, there's like an old abandoned paper mill that's not in my town, but like the next town over, basically. So but okay, that at least solved that issue, because I figured there had to been, like, because the mic looked fine, so I'm like, alright, well, there is a little something in there, so I kind of poked that out, and that got it out, and I'm like, any difference? And went, no. I'm like, okay, there's something else going on here. It was a comedy routine, I laughed. Well, it would have been a laughing matter if it wasn't for the fact that my son of a bitch ass old friend nearly got darn burnt a third of my lawn down after the fact of all this said was done. You know, I just want to make sure that actually thinks they're fine at this point. Wait, how did I get in incognito mode? What the fuck? Turn off incognito. Yeah, there we go. I don't need to be on incognito. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Well, he burned his finger. Does that make it even? Well, Ripsy, don't say anything, but honestly, like, me and Harley are fabricating a story of where we are, like, very fucking mad at, or I'm very fucking mad at him because he, quote, burnt a third of my lawn down. The idea is that he nearly, when he dropped some of the flame from when he first burnt the hammer on stream and stuff, he nearly scorched a chair a little bit because there was some coal still burning a little bit. And when just after I ended the stream, when he was like, I burnt my hand, and he was going back outside for a little bit, and I ended the stream after that and shit, that's when I went to, like, basically a third of my lawn being totally on fire, and him nearly burning, you know, potentially the house down because of that. You know, so, like, that's why we're fabricating the whole idea that I'm very fucking mad at him for, like, the foreseeable future and all this other shit. So, honestly, please keep playing into it, like, because I'm just gonna let Harley play the whole fabrication up, at least, like, until he decides not to anymore. And because of that, I'm kind of limiting how much I'm talking on the group chat a little bit as well, just to kind of be like, maybe, you know, kind of like I'm still in a little grump. But also, I was at the Did You Actually Burn the Lawn? No. He was messing around with gasoline in my fire pit last night. You can watch the stream last night. I mean, he was. I mean, yeah, there was some gasoline that was on fire that spilled onto the lawn, but the lawn was wet. There was no way for it to actually fucking burn. It was fine. Like, all in all, if anything, like, I kind of started getting over the fact that he was, like, playing around with gasoline and shit like that. Like, initially I was a little like, what the fuck, bro? Like, and, you know, like, but after we kind of started fabricating this story, I was just like, you know what? I can't really get mad. This is getting to be fun. See, all there seems off in some way, no offense. No, it's understandable. Yeah, I'll admit, yeah, he's had a childhood upbringing, you know, let's put that one. A very interesting one, you know, so. I mean, it's just like, he, you know, didn't exactly have the greatest, you know, upbringing and stuff, so there's definitely you know, probably some factors with a lot of that. I mean, I wouldn't know, like, literally every little bit of thing, but I definitely know he's got some, you know, some stories to tell. Like, he's definitely has share of stories. But, yeah. But either way, like, you know, he's gotten, like, a lot better about himself, though, nonetheless. He just still likes to be the pyro, you know, nut every now and then, and I mean, he pushes the edge sometimes, but honestly, there wouldn't really be a way unless he actually almost burnt my house down and shit. But honestly, that's how, like, the whole fabricated story came up in the first place. It's like, you know, honestly, I wouldn't really be mad at you unless you actually, like, nearly burnt the neighborhood down or was actually, my house is starting to become on fire. Like, unless some shit got out of control and, like, some actual damage happened outside of, you know, what he normally does, it's like, I could be, but I really couldn't, you know, so, and that's really where that whole idea came from. It's like, you know, why do we just, like, pretend that did happen, though, you know, just like, make up a whole thing. I'm just like, fuck it, you know, alright, if you want to do it, I'll play along with it. Oh, you know, I didn't even make sure, but I guess, like, audio's fine. Everyone's treating it like normal. Oh, you know, yeah. Well, I mean, it's still kind of meh, but, you know, whatever. It's your usual audio. There we go. At least it's a little something. A lot better than whatever the fuck was going on before with that. My Bluetooth speaker mic. My God. Well, it's not even my Bluetooth speaker mic. It was actually just my earbuds. But either way, nonetheless. But, here. I'm gonna play Tuna 2 here. Keep some of my musicality in practice and shit. Because at least when I'm at home, that's pretty much like, what am I doing? I've been having that itch. I don't think you should be using a lighter so close to those barrels of gas. Boom. And you him after. It's just, we're just angels. Yeah, basically. Honestly, like, I feel like one of these days that is probably going to happen, and I'm just going to look at him and just be like, I told you, you bastard. But we wouldn't be angels, we'd just be in hell. Like, both of us will certainly be in hell. I mean, I don't know who would be in what layer of hell, but I definitely know that we'll, be in one of those layers. I mean, that's if even Satan does them in layers. I mean, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't fucking know. I'd assume he has it in layers, like an onion. Like a bloody fucking onion. Okay, I think he does levels. Levels. European more American than America. Europe, let's try the 4-day work week. United States, say goodbye to comfort breaks. New downward tilting toilets. What? Are designed to become unbearable to sit out after 5 minutes. Say to maintain the benefits to employees and improve employee productivity. No, it doesn't. It literally doesn't. Like, no. Like, I'm just gonna say that right now. Like, anything that makes, like, comfortability more unbearable after a certain amount of time because it's actually uncomfortable is actually not helpful nor productive. Nor does it make me more productive or anything. Like, sometimes it takes longer than 5 minutes for me to shit. You know that, right? Like, do they not know that sometimes for a lot of people it takes more than 5 fucking minutes to take a shit? Like, sometimes you need to be there for a minute and be like, alright, I need, like, some 15 minutes of just, like, letting the body process, some things and shit. Like, just, like, let it do its thing. It's this IBS thing. That's what I mean. Like, some people just need to be there for a while. Like, it's bullshit. Like, no, if anything, they need to make it like some enground throne for me. Like, I want a fucking, like, throne where it's like, like, I want some shit like that when I enter in, and I just get, like, voluptuous comfortability where I'm just like, yes, and I just, like, relax as, like, something that would help, if anything, with these issues, because more relaxicity, would help with, get things moving, right? So, like, you don't want tension. Like, I don't want tension. I want, like, I can sit here, relax for a minute, hey, the seat might be a little cold, but my ass is gonna warm that up real quick, so it's like, there might be, like, a 30-second moment of, like, just like, alright, that's a little, uncomfortable, but then you get in there, and you're like, alright, now it's comfortable, and then you kind of get adjusted in, it's like, I mean, what bullshit. It's like increasing performance to attract stars by making them run barefoot. Which, honestly, for that, there may or may not, I guess, be, like, pros and cons to that. I imagine probably more cons than anything. Because, I mean, humans did technically run savannas and shit barefoot for, like, who knows how fucking long. So, I mean, like, I guess there can be some benefits to that. But, I mean, like, these track stars, I don't know, are used to things like shoes, so let's not, like, just be like, oh yeah, we'll make you run faster by not wearing the things that help you run faster. It's just like, yeah, that's a smart move. We're corporate. We are die smarts. Yeah, then they kept stepping on shit, and therefore footwear was made. Well, it wasn't just that, but also there was like, bugs and potential cuts and infections and things like that. I mean, they're really honestly, you have to live your life barefoot if you don't roll that way. Otherwise, your feet won't have thick skin. Yeah, which is honestly, like, for me, frankly, like, I probably should try to get a little bit more barefoot more often so my feet can at least be a little bit thicker. Because, like, whenever I'm, like, swimming in rivers or, like, at the beach sometimes, and there's just, like, one little thing that happens to be just a little extra pokey, it's like, ah! And, it's just, like, immediately, like, oh, shit, my leg, it got taken out of commission. It's like, fuck. I mean, it's kind of frankly annoying. Like, there's been some times where me and my friends go on rafting trips, and we have to, like, walk on the side of the road, and, of course, I don't have fucking river shoes or anything, or, anything like that, so I'm just sitting here, like, just like in pain, like torturing myself, trying to walk on this road and shit, just like barefoot, wet, and just like, my feet just getting like shredded. Well, they're not like getting shredded, but they're getting prodded and poked in ways that hurts. It's like, even if it is like a little, like every now and then, like, fuck, I mean, I don't care, just like, feet need to get thickened up. You think you know pain? Have you ever stepped on a wall plug? Electricity, that's what it feels like. I've been shocked and jolted before. It hurts. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it hurts, and I don't like that. I mean, a little bit where it's like, I mean, that's whatever. I mean, but like straight up like taser status, or like, yeah, that's, I've seen my friend just like once, this is a couple years back, actually Harley, did this, like, we were fucking, like, we were walking on this trail, and there's like this one little like train car that's on this side of the rail line that's like an old ass rail line that I think connects to like Oaks Park that's here in Portland, and there's basically not much in there. In fact, actually there was like a few like construction tools and stuff like that in there, and we went in there once, but anyway, fast forward a bit, like maybe a couple months later, we decided to check it out again, just see if there's anything in there, or if there's like maybe if it was even used or anything. And it was, because now there was this new, like, electrical fence line and stuff. At first, we didn't realize it was electrical, because my friend's like, oh, here, let's see if I can just climb over this. And he did, he went, and then he, like, did this, and just, like, seized up and just fell back, and then just went, oh, and just started rolling around, just, like, on the ground. I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I straight up just, like, looked at the fence and him for, like, back and forth like this, like, what just fucking happened? Like, it took me a second to realize that's an electric fence. Like, oh my god. And then it's like, did you just get shocked? It's like, well, I don't know, why do you fucking touch it? And I'm just like, fuck no, I'm not touching it. It's like, I believe you, I see you on the ground rolling in pain. That was pretty funny, though. I will admit. Was from an old television set I was tearing apart. The old ones with the glass tube screen. Oh, really? One of those bad boys? Man, I haven't had one of those in a long time. You know what? I'll load the bowl first. Did you have to pee right after it happened? Nobody apparently had a boner. I don't know if that was because of the blood rush or because he had a little bit of an interest in that. Which is whatever. I mean, honestly, like, I don't, but, like, if there's, like, a, like a little, whatever, like, it's kind of like a, ooh. It kind of, it's more of, like, a tingly feeling to me at a certain point. Like, there's, like, a barrier of where it, like, I don't really notice it, and then there's, like, this big area where it's like kind of tingly, then it's just like a very major like tingly sensation. And then like there's a line where it starts becoming painful, and that's where it gets to like ow, where like I don't want this. Like, but like anything after that, I'm pretty neutral with, so they're not horrible. I almost fell on an electric fence when I jumped out of the barn. I was literally frozen halfway over it. Ooh! They're not horrible, and they only pulse every couple seconds. Still though. Oh, man, dude. Fuck. Like, that's just... Ooh. Like, you fell on it, and then you're just like... And just, like, frozen on. God. I don't know what's worse. That or, like, trying to, like, climb over barbed wire or something. Like a fence with barbed wire on top of it and trying to, like, climb over it. I don't know what would be worse. Probably a barbed wire, honestly, because that'd probably shred the shit out of you unless you know what you're doing. If you're being very careful. Which, if you're trying to climb over barbed wire, chances are you're probably trying to, like, run from something, so you're probably not going to be careful. So you're probably going to get shredded shit. My grandma actually had to run away from a bull once back in, like, when she was, like, my age and shit. And she was, like, at a farm. And, so obviously it's back in, like, the 19, like, probably, like, fucking, I don't know, like, 19... Well, honestly, probably, like, the fucking, like, 40s or some shit now that I think about it. Like, 30s, 40s or something. So, like, back around them time or whatever. Like, in, or, well, maybe not 30s. She'd be, like, a baby at that point. So, no, maybe, like, early 50s, like, 40s about. Yeah, so around there. But, like, yeah, so she was, like, at this, like, barn, and there was, like, this bull she wasn't aware of that happened to, like, be in the same, like, enclosed area that she was at. And that bull happened to notice her and start charging, and obviously she's like, oh fuck, better run. Obviously. I'm sure that's not what she was thinking, but, well, she was thinking that, but probably not the exact way I was phrasing it. She's probably like, oh heavens, I need to run! Oh Jesus, my Lord and Savior, protect me! She's probably, it's like, she's probably doing that, but, the same equivalent of like, oh fuck, better run. So it's just like, she starts running and she's climbing this fence and not realizing it's barbed wire. And as she's like rolling over it, she shreds the shit out of her fucking legs and stuff. She actually still has some of those scars. Like, I mean, I've noticed them and stuff. And I've asked her before when I was, like growing up. And my mom's even told the story. So it's just like, yeah, I believe it. My mom's had a similar case, but she didn't really get shredded up though. And luckily, she wasn't, like, it wasn't barbed wire. I think that was why. It was just, like, some regular old fence. She just had to climb over it and hop over it and shit at that point. So I guess for her, she didn't get shredded. But have a very similar instance where she had to run away from a bull real quick. I mean, I've had to deal with a bull before, too. And they're kind of temperamental. Luckily, he didn't ram me or try to charge me, but he was slowly showing up to us, being like, who the fuck are you people? Strutting up on my bitches? Strutting up on my field and my bitches? Like, this is my turf. What the fuck you doing here? It's like, I mean, that was like his vibe. It's like, you intruded on my bitches, and you are not allowed here. Like, that was basically like the bull's vibe, and he was kind of like sizing us up a little bit. Just walking little bit by bit, just like, sizing us up, being like, which one of you can I just bowl right in the face? Which one of you can I just do that with? Let's see. I'm just gonna pretend to eat a little something over here. Oh, one of you get close. I'm about ready to bowl on you. It's just like, you would do that shit. I actually have a video of it. I think I've shown it before. Because, I mean, he was basically that entire vibe of just like, I'm an alpha right now, and I'm gonna strut my shit. I'm gonna flex. Back up. Like, and we were just all like, yeah, all right, we're gonna dip. Because obviously, like, we don't want to necessarily get, like, tossed 10 feet in the air. Just go to the bar with an electric bull. Oh, dude, I want to go to a bar with one of those things, dude. That'd be fucking dope. Just, like, have a couple shots and try to ride on that thing. Dude, that would be awesome. Let's watch people get tossed off. That's what I mean, though. Like, it would be fun to get tossed off of those things, honestly. And, even if you get a little roughed up, but that's why I take a couple shots before you get on the thing, because, it absorbs, some of the impact, so you're not as, feeling bad later. So it's like, I mean, I'd love to go on one of those things. I want to. It's like, I like that, there's bars with a lot of pool tables and, like, karaoke around here, but, like, where's one with, like, electric pool? Dude, honestly, is there a bar around Portland that has something like that? Because if not, there should be. Because I feel like, even though it's, like, maybe more of, like, a country thing, in a sense, to have one of those, dude, people around here would fucking love to ride one of those, okay? Like, get a couple drinks to somebody, and they see one of those, they're gonna be drunk enough to get on that and be like, yeah! Like, or there at least someone who's dumb enough to get on one of those, be like, oh, I could do that, why not? What's so bad about it? And just get launched like 3 feet, and everyone gets entertained, and thus a cycle starts and a trend starts where people just start lining up on it. It's like, there's gonna be at least, like, that, it's like, there's at least gonna be someone who's just gonna be tangentially just like, oh, this is interesting. Video of the incident in question. I never uploaded it to YouTube. Oh, I see what's going on here. Looney Tunes. What, you said electric bowl? Yeah, an electric bowl. Oh, now you have a Family Guy thing. No, but I never uploaded the video to YouTube, but I do have it on my phone.
Go bowl at that bar.
Oh my god, how embarrassing! How much fun I am!
See, he was riding and holding it firm right there. See, he was doing good. See, he had like some good posture and, like, some good form going on right there. So you knew it was up. You knew how to do it. Thank God it was Peter Griffin, because if that wasn't, we'd get demonetized. I feel like we were going to get demonetized anyway. I feel like we already are now. We're monetized. Well, no, that's kind of the joke, because Rip City would always say, like, if there's, like, like, basically that, like the whole Family Guy little bit there with Peter dressing up as a cowgirl, and then a titty slipped out, like, that would be what he would qualify as being demonetized. I mean, I'm not actually monetized, but it's the joke. I think I should have it. Better, it's kind of loggy. What is the choice? What's the choice? The trans person likely upended whole life to gain advantage in volleyball competition, reports idiot. Wait, what? A trans person likely upended whole life to gain advantage. What? So it's okay. It's a comedy site, at least, from what someone says. Is this a good site or a bad one? Is this transphobic post or one making fun of transphobes? It's making fun of trans. Okay, so yeah, it's a comedy site making fun of. Okay. Upended whole life to gain advantage of volleyball competitions, reports idiot. I think I get it. Where it's like, oh my god, these sons of bitches, they'll spend the whole life and just destroyed everything that they are just to try to get advantage in their damn career, the sons of bitch. It's like, oh my god. What the hell? Oh, there it is. Not big on my birthday, but I want this to be my cake. Dude, fuck yeah. Dude, this cake's awesome. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. Dude, hell yeah, dude. Dude, I want that for a cake. I want that for a cake. Hell yeah. Can I have some of that? I want some of that. I probably don't want my hands all moist for this. God damn it. How am I going to dry my hands? How am I going to dry my hands? Going to Japan soon? Take me as a stowaway. I want to visit. Actually, that would be a bad idea. Until like I show up and they're just like, who the fuck is this? I mean, I have a passport, so I could actually do it. Well, they'd still be like, who are you? And be like, you're coming in here illegally. No, fuck off. It's like, now you're no longer welcome here. We don't give a shit if you're a tourist or not. That would be a bad idea. Like, if it was like Hawaii, like my friend Stefan, then I'd be like, yes, please, stow away me. Japan's cool. It is pretty cool. Who cares? Just go. Well, with what money? I mean, I don't got just. Yeah, let me just whip up $1,000 just to go to Japan right now. Like I got that right now, and I'm pretty sure it costs a lot more to go there and be there for a week or however long. With what money? Good stuff. I mean, you want to pay for it? Want to finance it? Live in Japan for free? Well, I don't want to fucking join the goddamn military just to do that bullshit. I originally went there for program working for Isuzu. Dope. Or worse, gutted fish. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be the worst, job. Hey, I mean, someone's got to do it. So, hey, might as well. I mean, shit, fuck. If I was hey, you want to work as a work visa and, go, work at one of the dockyards in Japan, I'd be like, alright, fuck it, sure. I mean, it's I basically do the same stuff I do here, but just over there, alright, maybe it'd be a little different, maybe they give me different work and stuff overall, but hey, why not, fuck it. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be against it. I mean, I'd probably want to at least level up a little bit after that, but I mean, it's whatever, hey, work's work, as long as I'm getting fairly compensated for it. Maybe I could get in with like some of the local Japanese Communist Party members or something. I mean, they tend to be, they're actually like the biggest Communist Party that doesn't like control the country, so to speak. You know, so not like China, Venezuela, or whatever. I mean, if anything, honestly, they're probably more like the truest to the actual like idea of what, you know, a party could be espoused. But they're more of like, you know, maybe not reformist, but they're more like, you know, broadly based on just, you know, like doing reformist style policies and shit. And also utterly denounced the CCP too. So, and also they tend to focus a lot about like, you know, with science and as well too. That's kind of one of their more like side priorities, like a secondary priority basically. And I think at least overall they have like about 4% of like at least registered voters in Japan are actually affiliated with the Koyosanto, which is the, I think, Japanese name for the Communist Party over there. The Japanese rice mines. The rice mines. Gotta go down, do another 18 tons in the rice mines now. What the fuck? The rice mines, dude. So, like, yeah, that's how they truly, you know, get our rice. You know, they don't have rice fields, they have rice mines. You know, like, in contrast to, you know, the rest of the world, like, in Japan, it's not, you know, it's like literal rice ore. Like, and they harvest it in the mines. You know, so the way they do it is more gruesome shit, man. It's tough stuff. Well, here it's actually even more dangerous to be in those mines than even a coal mine. There's some dangerous hard work. My God. Okay, now I feel like I'm being just a little bit horrible. Just a little bit. You know what Japanese breakfast is? Rice with a raw egg and soy sauce. I'm not even joking. That's what it typically is. It's actually not bad. I mean, that wouldn't be bad, but I'd prefer to have the egg cooked. Like, you know, cook up the rice a little bit in a pan and, you know, some of the soy sauce, maybe a little bit of veg and some egg. I mean, that'd, you know, and mix that all up as it's kind of cooking in like a wok or something. Like, that'd be fucking good. I mean, that don't sound terrible, but I wouldn't necessarily want a raw egg with that. Like, yeah, not a raw egg, but, you know, like, let that cook with the rice and stuff, you know, like, that's okay. So, barely cooks the egg. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'd rather, like, you know, the egg at least be, you know, a little bit more thoroughly cooked. I don't mind if it's runny, like, but I want it to at least be, like, at least a little bit, you know, just a little. Check the last link. Where's the male escort and your first customer is an octopus? Oh, God. I mean, work is work, but I don't know about that type of job. I don't know. That don't sound like a job for me. That sounds like someone else's job. How much do you want? No. Japan, you don't have to worry about salmonella. Well, I'm sure I don't, but I mean, still, you can eat off the floor in Japan. That's how neat and clean everything is. I know they tend to be very neat and clean. Like, I know that's like one of the big things over there and shit. I mean, like, I'm sure I could, but do I want to? No, and I wouldn't. Like, yeah, I'm sure, like, you know, it'd be fine, but, you know, even if that's the case, I mean, I'd still want it a little cooked. Like, even if I know for an absolute fact that if I ate a raw egg that I know won't hurt me or make me sick or anything, I still want to do it. I'd want to cook it a little bit. Even in Japan, a raw chicken dish only has a 40% salmonella risk. Which is not bad, actually. I mean, at that point, if you have some undercooked chicken, it wouldn't be as bad like over here, but I mean, I'd still, like, I'm not going to gamble on that. That's, like, almost a coin toss. I had eggnog with 5 raw eggs. It was fine. Don't ruin that. Don't ruin eggnog for me. You know, honestly, I just kind of realized that there's things that I love, like cookie dough and stuff like that, that technically have fucking raw eggs in it. So, god damn it. You know, like, I guess raw eggs aren't technically, you know, you have yours with booze. It kills bacteria. If you go try and try fungu blowfish, it's pretty good, but not worth $20 equivalent for one bite. You want me to try it, but I don't want to spend $20 to equivalent of a single bite of that. I mean, I would try it, but, like, I mean, it's the price thing. Like, it's basically just a novelty of eating it. And it's just like, eh. I mean, it's like, I mean, honestly, it's like there's so much effort that goes into, you know, killing and, you know, like, extracting the meat off of those things, that it's just, there's no point to it. Like, the only reason why people even eat those fucking things is because it's like some novelty that, you know, frankly, people that with a little extra cheddar, you know, some more maybe upper class types, you know, do as kind of a luxury meal, you know. So it's just like, it's more seen as like, ooh, this is like an exotic dish, and it's like, it's more seen like that, you know. And it's like, eh. It's like, I mean, if it basically takes more work to, like, you know, like, process and, like, get the meat off the damn thing than to actually, like, eat the fucker, then it's like, I mean, is it even worth it? Especially if you don't do it exactly right, it will fucking kill you. Like, that's why there's very specialized chefs that are specially trained for that type of shit, and, like, no other chef can, like, you know, cook with it, because you have to be specially trained to do it and be, like, essentially a master at it. I mean, because if you do slightly fuck up the process, you could poison and kill somebody. Like, and it's just like, why put so much effort into something like that? It's like, just leave it alone. Just let it swim in the sea. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other things to eat. It's like, goddamn, you know, it's like, chill. I mean, also, it's like, you know, I mean, I could actually start on a little bit of a rant about what some stuff that Japan eats, like, not all of it, but at least some stuff, some more peculiar dishes, but, I mean, I don't know if I want to go on that, because, I mean, there's frankly, just a lot of different random bullshit with it. Move that down. What the fuck is that? Oh. Traditionally, fugu is ideally prepared with minuscule amount of dextrotoxin present as a cause tingling numbness in the mouth. I don't want that. I don't want that. What? Goddamn. I don't know about that. I don't think I'm, you know, all about that. I think that's going to be a nope. Just a, you know, just a good, nice serving of nope on that one. Because, goddamn. But watch this shorts about a woman going to cooking school. One show is showing a human way to kill a crab. And it'd be funny if there was that one person class where the teacher's just like, you were only supposed to have one crab cut. Why do you have 3 extra? I wanted them to watch. I wanted these to watch as their friends suffered. It's like, alright, make sure that guy is not Hannibal Lecter. I don't want Hannibal Lecter in my class. Anyway, so, okay. I ate Panera Bread near my tiny apartment. Many nights I ate out of Panera Bread. You know, there's a Panera Bread around here, like near the mall. And, honestly, I don't understand it. like, I get it. Like, it's just one of those, like, kind of, like, fast casual, fast food places or whatever the fuck. But, like, it's so hard trying to be, like, a certain aesthetic and basically market most of its price basically on that. Because, honestly, it's just, like, I've had some of the stuff, and it really is not worth the over giant price that, you know, it has on it. It's, like, it's not bad, but it's, like, you're not worth, like, a $12 fucking like sandwich on like a little focaccia bread this fucking big. It's just like, sure, I might spend like, I don't know, maybe like $7 or something, maybe, you know, or something like that, you know, at least for their quality, maybe, sure, I don't know. I mean, it's like that, I'm at least willing to be like, okay, but like, I mean, it's like, goddamn, it's like you're a little too much. It's like, and I know a lot of that is just because they're trying to, like, sell their aesthetic mostly. It's not really the food they're trying to sell with their price on that. It's just, like, the aesthetic and, like, you know, the vibe of being there, basically. It's kind of like how Starbucks, you know, can kind of be a little bit. And it's just like, I come here for, like, either, you know, like, a Panera Bread thing or, like, a coffee or whatever. I ain't here for, like, the aesthetic of the place or, like, the vibe or, like, you know, how hip it is. Like, I don't give a fuck. Just give me what I want. At a reasonable price, at the very least. But no, they got to price gouge us because, you know, they're bastards. Got a tortellini and aluminum can pull tab. Already got it. Nice. Get this going on, y'all. Already hot. Well, that too. Already got, already hot. Ready to eat on spot. Do you not want to throw them in the water alive? I do. What? Yep. I like locking the lid and listening to them scratch against it. I'm just gonna have the Hannibal Lecter voice for this character now. I do. What? Yep, I like locking the lid and listening to them scratch against it as they beg for their life. While the butter slowly melts into their eternal organs, seeping through their exoskeleton. better at that one now. I want to try to learn how to get a little solo slid in there, but I still need to kind of learn where all notes play around it, because I know it's like, I mean, I know that's basically just like the octave to it, and I know that will play with it, and I know going up there, and like, well, actually right there, and then being like, well, yeah, see, I still gotta play around with it. Yeah, maybe those notes. So, I don't know, I kind of want to slide one in there at some point, eventually. I want to get practiced enough to where I can at least, one of those instrumental parts, you know, kind of sliding in there a little. Just a little bit. Why did you come shift? Because cooking and eating something I knew once thought and felt like I thought. It gives me a rush of power no drug on earth can ever possibly match. It honestly does kind of feel like some just very blunt things that Hannibal Lecter would say. I mean, I feel like he would have a lot more of a sophisticated way of saying it, but he definitely would probably do that. I was at a Subi dealership this morning and noticed a copy of Forbes of Bankman Fried on front. Lol. Do one more. I love that little song. So easy. Just two little chords. And I love it. Alert. Cold one has been cracked. Alert. Alert. I've already had one cracked. Alert. Catch up, bitch. Alert. Remember I said toasted PB&J was my new favorite sandwich? I was wrong. Marco Badrubio automated message. You indeed need to catch the fuck up. And you're wrong. Why are you wrong? What's up with this? It looks like a toasted PB&J. What's up with it? Is there something about this? You're wrong, and we got this, and this looks fucking spanking. I mean, we got some PB in there, we got some J, and it's toasted. I mean, what's going on here? It's French toast. Oh my god, that is some French toast we got right there, sir. Oh my god, now you're just speaking my language right there. I'll tell you what. I'd love to have me some down. I'll tell you what. Let me at it. Let me at it. Got me an apricot peach sour. Nice. Hold up. Here. We got a funny. Got ourselves a funny. I don't want a ringtone on. God damn. Fuck you and your ringtone, bitch. I don't want that. No, stop. No. No, I don't want no. Oh my god. Alright, fine. I'll have it on vibrate, bitch. There. Fuck you. Oh my fucking Christ alive. Now it just wants to be a cunt. What the hell? Okay, there we go.
Cut it right on to the top.
What on earth is he wowing for?
What on earth? Yeah.
Lord, that cheese thicker than she is.
You want to make sure you cut.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Really good.
What does the cheese do?
I know what it's about to do.
I know what it's about to do.
Okay. And perfectly.
Lord have mercy.
I'm starting to feel a bubbling. Lord have mercy.
I'm starting to feel a bubbling. Lord have mercy.
Here.
I am too, dude. Uh-huh. Oh god, that looked like some serious bad voodoo right there. What the fuck was that? That was some funk. I don't even. What is dude? Dude, white people, I don't understand you. Look, I refuse to be a part of the white people, and this is a white people thing. I refuse to be a part of said thing. I have detached myself entirely of said things. Because that also made my stomach bubble. Lord have mercy. That's why, when I say that every now and then, that's where I'm getting it from. Because this guy is fucking hilarious. Lol, accurate. I mean, honestly, though. I mean, it's just like, dude, eating that would make my stomach be a bubbling. And it would just be... Like, that was the sound of, like, you know, some unintentional consequence. Well, actually, some straight-up intentional consequences. Because, I don't even know. That's just some funk. I have white guilt over British food. But then you have America, then you get like some crazy ass like honky-tonk crackerjack of a American, you know, making some shit like that. You know, like, so, I don't know, like, I mean, honestly, that even makes British food look fucking sophisticated, if I do say so myself. And it takes a lot for me to say that. Like, cause honestly, like, I mean, cause that's just like, I mean, that's just like the worst of what, like, American food has to offer. The maestro of mayo. Like, what like really sent me about that was the fucking, you're adding milk into that. Like, what are you why? What the fuck? Like, that actually makes me feel a little grossed out. Like, honestly, like, decking it the fuck out in cheese, like, okay, whatever. Like, you just like cheese. You're a freak. But, I mean, the milk, though, that's, like, that actually legit made my stomach a bubbling. Lord have mercy. Because, like, oh my god, I was, it did not make me feel good. It really didn't. And that's straight up, like, some white people shit. Like, and I refuse to be a part of said white people shit. Like, I like to think of myself as, you know, a little bit of a, you know, lightly seasoned. You know what I mean? Like, I have some proper seasoning. I take some care and love with the food I make. When these first came out, I said, the one on the left looked like an aborted Twizzlers. What is this? Wait, what are the Cheetos mac and cheese? Well, that actually looks kind of good. And yeah, these straight up look like aborted Twizzlers. Like, they're just like Twiddler fetuses that were just like aborted from the lab, and they just put some spice on it, and they're just like, here you go. Just call it Cheetos mac and cheese flaming hot or whatever the fuck. It's like, god damn, that just looked kind of pathetic. I don't know if I want anything to do with that at all. That just looked really repulsive. I feel like I have some stuff I wanted to check out, but I don't see anything, so maybe I was deceived. Wasn't there shit that I saw? Nah, I guess not. Because usually it gets re-recommended at some point. Oh, this is something I was wanting to look at, huh? Mind-blowing nuclear fusion breakthrough that will change everything. Nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion. The way of energy. Coming forth. Changing everything. I fuck with the one on the right, but got the feeling it'll taste exactly the same as normal Kraft. That's what I mean. Like, it looks fine, but I don't think it's going to taste like Cheetos. I mean, if it does, it's basically just because it's going to be, like, super cheesy. It's basically just like an extra cheesy mac and cheese. Is basically what you're getting. Call me McSkeptical. Oh, wow, so you're the skeptical one, huh? Well, actually, I kind of am too, to be honest. I mean, honestly, it's just like, there's definitely, like, some interesting, I think there could definitely be some interesting breakthroughs, and I do think it is a breakthrough, to an extent, but I do think, there will be some interesting breakthroughs in the future. But, yeah, I don't know if it's going to literally change everything. I do think it will probably help pave the way towards, when it comes to, like, getting, to be a replacement for fossil fuel stuff. Because honestly, for me, like, I'm skeptical, like, about current nuclear power, but honestly, when it comes to fusion, like, I'm honestly legit on board with stuff like that. Because, I mean, it's a lot more safer. There's a lot less waste that comes into play with that. I mean, at least right now, we just haven't really been able to have a way of garnering and gaining energy from fusion up until this breakthrough, basically, from my understanding. Like, it's like the first time where we actually have gained some energy from doing it. And, at least had it be significant enough to be like, oh shit, whoa. It's like, this is some good shit right here. So, I would say it's a breakthrough because it's like, it's on the right track of, getting to, like, the bigger significant breakthroughs that would be needed to actually change things. Which I guess in that sense does, should hypothetically have zero waste outside of maybe manufacturing. The byproduct is helium, which is actually very useful. Yeah. I mean, so if anything, the waste would actually be something that we could actually use as a byproduct for other things, so that's why, honestly, I'm more on board with it. I mean, because there's a lot more of an investment to have, like, a reciprocal, thing to where, if anything, it could actually be more of like maybe not necessarily an infinite, like, source of energy, but a very, very long fucking term use of it, where, we wouldn't have to worry much about it. We need helium for children's birthdays and gender reveal parties. Yep, for all the balloons. And inhaling them. Because, there's going to be, like, also for the weird-ass teenagers at, like, high school parties and shit that are like, yo, I got some helium, bro, you want to inhale some? So you can sound like this, bitch. What's up, my boy? What's up, you little son, bitch? Sound like we're in first grade again. Now, that makes it sound like we're in South Park. John, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. What do you mean, Eden? Also be zero risk of meltdown with the current methods being used. That too. Which is why, like I said, at least when it comes to current nuclear power, I tend to have a lot more skeptical because of mainly a lot of human faults, because a lot of the last couple times, outside of Fukushima, and even then, technically, because of, how they constructed it, it didn't really take other things into account. I mean, a lot of it is due to human error, but even with that in consideration, fusion would still not really play a role unless somebody absolutely like purposely fucked with it. Which, if that case, there would be fail safes in place. Just like in a regular nuclear plant. At least to an extent. Obviously, like because I know at least with Chernobyl, it was a human error thing, and then there was the Kishkin meltdown incident, which actually was even the CIA helped cover it up from with the Soviet Union because they didn't want to have like some international scare about like what the ramifications of the radiation and all this other shit would be. So that was like hidden away for a long time and shit, but that was like one of the first meltdowns that happened, and it caused some very fucking major bad impacts and shit. And complications even to this fucking day. Like some of the lakes that are in the area of Kishtin, like you can't swim in it, or you basically are going to get irradiated to death. Like to this fucking day. Like I mean, it's still not exactly very habitable. So I mean, like there's at least with the current use of it, like I do think there's can be risks still, and I think obviously the most recent one, Fukushima, even though most of it was due to environmental factors, because of an earthquake and then a tsunami from that. I mean, it's just like how you constructed the place. You should have built the generators and all this other shit up on the top of the building or something, considering that it's an earthquake / flood prone area. And maybe potentially at least moving it more inland. I mean, there was a few slight, indirect, unintentional human faults at that case, in that instance, because it was just, just stuff that wasn't really thought about at the time. But obviously now we have thought about it, and I'm sure, we've improved from that. But that's why overall I'm a lot more in favor of fusion, because these type of risk factors, even in the meltdown case, like they're different. Like so. It's a lot in a way it's just fundamentally more safer, and even with human faults, or it's more of a trusting source of energy for me. When it comes to like a pro and con risk factor, because I mean current nuclear power with fission is relatively safe. It's like with a potential meltdown with that, the cons are very fucking bad, and that's why for me it's just like Check this link. Oh, fusion? Ooh. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, let me check this out. What are the effects of fusion on the environment? It's the most environmentally friendly source of energy, or no CO2 out of the harm atmosphere. Yep, yeah, that's true. What's new? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here, let's check this. The fusion, if the fusion reactor stops. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, because it's because of a lot of these other things that come into fission, which is a different way of, dealing with the atoms and shit. Because fusion is, well, self-explanatory. You're fusing atoms together. Like, and with fission, you're splitting them apart. So it's like with splitting them, there's more of a byproduct of that in comparison to putting things together. So with that, there's, like that adds a major different way of how, the chemical reaction of everything is going. So, I mean, it's, because, like, if you stop that, what's going to happen? The atoms are just going to kind of chill. They're just going to kind of do their thing, they're nothing's really going to come from that. I mean, for the most part. But here, let me read this a little more. Both are nuclear, here, let me pull screen. Both nuclear, yeah. Splits a heavy element. Yeah, I know about that. While fusion joins two light elements with a low atomic mass. Yep, I kind of know about that. Yeah. In both cases is freed because the mass of the remaining nucleus is small. The mass. The reason why the opposite process really shouldn't be understood by examining per nucleon curve. Reflect the size of the towards. Power plants have disadvantage for generating unstable nuclei. Yeah. Some of these years, but yeah, which is kind of one of the major cons of it. Fusion reactor produces helium, which is an inert gas, and produces and consumes tritium, which within the plant in a closed circuit. Tritium is radioactive, a beta emitter, but its half-life is short. It's only used in low amounts, so unlike long-lived radioactive nuclei, it cannot produce a serious danger. So yeah. So basically, it kind of comes down to the radioactive material and stuff that's kind of used. Because tritinium, as it's saying, it's a shorter lifespan in comparison to what comes in with fusion, with the radioactivity of the elements that come from that, and which have millions potentially of years worth of lifespan, and that's why we have to bury that fucking shit deep ass in the ground and all sort of bullshit, you know. So, I mean, yeah. So it's basically just saying because this lifespan is so short, you know, it doesn't actually emit that big of a danger, and you know, it's not really, there's not much of a serious threat about it. Strong depends on the solution for blame. Wait, hold on, I missed part. No, active fluxes, no issue. The strong depends on what solution for blanking out structures have been adopted and reductions. So I think that just kind of is based on infrastructure, it sounds like. So if like neutron fluxes. So that just kind of sounds like, you know, like how strong is the infrastructure that's supporting that, which I'm sure that's, you know, already taken into account. It's not based on chain reaction as fusion. Plasma must be kept at very high temperatures. Reactor will automatically come into halt within a few seconds since process energy production is arrested with no effects. This fusion reactors are considered to be inherently safe. Ah! I don't want no! Get out of here! What the hell? Boo! Go away! There's the X. Can fusion reactors be used to produce weapons? No. I mean, not that we know of. Maybe. Honestly, there could be a possibility, you know, of something like that happening. Wait, hold on. Although hydrogen bombs do use fusion reaction. Well, yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, see, yeah. Wait, no, but then you contradict it with right afterwards. No, but they can be used as hydrogen bombs. It's like that. Then yes, they can be used as weapons as hydrogen bombs. Like that. Okay. They require an additional fusion bomb to detonate. Well, okay, caveat, but still, there's a caveat to it, but still, technically, yes. I mean, like, okay, whatever. Work conditions are of a magnetic confined fusion require a reaction limited amount of fuel. This fuel contains therefore a sufficient amount of fuel to produce instantaneous power required for a weapon. Well, if you charge it up, if you get that bitch charged, like, you know, like have that shit charge up and stuff. You can make like a, I don't know, like a fusion fucking like nuclear coil gun or something. I don't fucking know. That just charges up and is like, you just like have that energy just piled up and stocked and pressured in like a coil or something. I don't fucking know. I mean, hypothetically, and I think technically and within theory, you probably could. And at least, you know, technically you can for sure with hydrogen bombs, even though, yeah, they need a fusion, you know, or fission fucking bomb to detonate it. Like, still, I mean, there's some fusion to go on with the process, so hypothetically, yes, you could. And technically, yeah, because there's both processes going on here. There's a fusion and a fission bomb. It's both. So, technically, it's literally trying at present. Well, I mean, at this point, we're kind of slowly but surely getting to that point. So, I mean, this is like, you know, within the near future, basically. Is the short answer. Yeah, 2040. Yeah, so, you know, near future. Wait, oh, shit. The neutrons bombarding chamber walls could create some radioactivity, but that's per se dangerous. Well, yeah, that's the tritanium stuff that was mentioned earlier. Whatever. Wait, what? Wait, hold on. I don't think ignore knows the layman basics of tokamak. What? Hold on. I feel like I've just missed various different things here. What's concept? This should be the con of fusion. It doesn't really exist yet. There's never been an experiment that generates more energy from fusion than put in from outside resources. Neutrons. No bad to artists on the project though. Right here. It's not a deal reactor shape, but the running for the accelerator and Germany's warp loop that matches. There's something used remotely on time I need to address the climate crisis fusion is something that will be really cool for the next generation. I mean, that's they can't. Well, the thing is, like, fusion is like something that could potentially help the climate crisis, and for the next generation, I think to really take advantage of that and have it be something for them, it would essentially have to be in our generation to like push and like get it at least somewhat commercially viable. That's why I just I saw you said that earlier, so I figured you probably aren't obviously against it, but a solution anytime soon though. I mean, I don't think it would either, but I definitely think it would help at least mitigate some issues and at least maybe put a lot more pressure on the fossil fuel industry a little bit. Because frankly, I bet the reason why it's been taking this long for fusion to kind of be more commercially accessible, I feel like I kind of have a little bit of a theory about it. Like, I feel like this type of technology has been around for a while. Because honestly, a lot of these different techs that have been around, like, have been honestly researched and experimented with for a long time, like electric cars, EVs, and all this other shit, and like, like fusion and things like that. These are things that have been kind of like theorized, researched, and experimented and tried in the past and stuff. And some of these techs and shit have had successes, but there's usually some big industries that usually stand in the fucking way of these things. Either the fossil fuel industry or like some tangential industry to it, like the automotive industry or something. At least when it comes to things like EVs. And at least when it comes to things like fusion or fission tech, well, not really fission at this point, but like at least when it comes to fusion, then yeah, like there's definitely a major investment to at least stifle its commercial ability. Like maybe not outright stifling its research, but enough to where it can't necessarily be commercially viable anytime soon. Because I'm sure this technology has been around for a while, but to actually have the real investment to get the shit done right, to actually have it done, to where it can be proven and experimented and done to where it can show that, like, here, we can definitely, make this commercially accessible because we've been able to have the time with the right amount of money and investment in researchers on hand and shit. It's just like, because we haven't been stifled essentially, like, then we've already had at least some early stages of commerciality and viability of this type of technology right now. But again, like, I think honestly there's a lot of different wealthy influenced powers and shit that keep certain technology, like, while maybe available for certain aspects, to an extent. Like, honestly, I bet, like, fusion, has probably been experimented with the fucking military already. At least when it comes to, vehicles and things like that, at least maybe using it for some shit like this. Because I've always heard from basically every fucking veteran I ever have talked to, it's like usually technology that the military has, at least when it comes to, like, special forces and, like, the guys that really get, the good toys and shit, a lot of that type of stuff tends to be like 10 to 15 years way more advanced to what people really already know about. So it's just like, who's to say that they probably already have like some smaller forms of this type of tech that, they've been experimenting with. Maybe they don't have it out for the troops or whatever the fuck, but, a lot of these different, like, weird ass sightings that we see and shit, like, that people say, like, oh, look, there's been some UFOs or something. It's like, who's to say that that's like some shit that the military's been experimenting with some of this tech that's now just starting to be like, oh, we're making breakthroughs with. It's like, maybe the military's been doing that for a while, Fusion also has a huge advantage that could literally be used in the middle of a huge city if needed. Most energy sources are guarded to be far away from population centers. Yeah, that's true. Because then, because of how safe it can be, like, there's not much of a reason to have it so fucking far away. It's like, because even with things like windmills and stuff, you can't exactly, have like a big ass windmill, because that would pose a risk. But you can have like little ones and stuff, but that doesn't necessarily produce enough energy to power a city, So it's like, you still, like, when it comes to a major power line or like power station, it has to be away from cities and shit. And thus you have to have a little bit more sprawl, because that means you're going to either have a small town or like some stretched out adjacent neighborhood that's in the greater metro area of that city that's going to be, near that. And then obviously various different substations, that, are dotted along the area and shit too. So it's just like, it's a whole big, massive, like, cockamamie, absurd structure, honestly. Like, frankly, there could be a lot of modernization of our current power stations and shit right now. Honestly, probably for good fucking reason, considering far-right motherfuckers are wanting to shoot at them. It's like, maybe, like, it might be worth the investment to probably, put some walls around them or something. I don't know, like, you can't just obviously have, like, security teams or something at them at, like, all the time, so it's just like, you gotta have something at least, like a concrete, like, 20-foot fucking wall or something. I mean, that would work, honestly. It's like, good luck shooting for a fucking concrete wall, you dumb fuck. Unless they crash through a gate, but make it like a bunker gate where it's like, it's like, like 6-inch fucking steel or something, like one of those gates. There you go, boom. Good luck trying to bust through that. Just have power substations just be bunkers. just have them just be bunkers. Like, unless you got a bunker buster, we ain't getting in that substation. Yeah, I'll make a fun of you. I was at Desert Fest, New York City, 6 months back. Chassids came out from the front gate complaining that they smelled weed and heard Satan's chants and said we denied the kingdom of heaven. Who? Should have offered them a joint, yeah, for real. Wait on, I'll finish that comment here, but hold on. It's nothing radioactive to blow all over the place. Once the plasma dies, you're done. Even if plasma is manufactured in here, which is not radioactive. Yeah, it's true, yeah. Chesapeake's in New York City. They have their own enclave in South Williamsburg. They deliberately segregate themselves from others. They have no shops, restaurants there. They want others to stay out. So why are they in New York City? Where there's like fucking like pretty much like at least like every little chunk of the entire planet in that city. Like they called the place the Big Apple for a reason. Chesapeake Orthodox Jews, in case you don't know what I'm talking about. Because, oh my god. Okay, so they're basically just like hardcore Orthodox Jews, basically. New York City's 18% Jewish. Well, I mean, I figured that, but it's just like, why, if you're gonna like be so hyper segregationist to be like, unless you're like as extreme as we are, fuck you, I don't want you here. It's like, unless you're basically like us to a T, we don't want you here. It's like, you're like, what? You're surrounded in like one of the most diverse cities, like in like at least one of them in the U.S. at least. But 9% are extremists. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, like you got like a little community of weirdo extremists and shit. It's like, I mean, what? You just set up your own commune or something. I don't know. Like, what the fuck? It's like you don't want the rest of the city to be in your little neighborhood because, It's like, fuck you. I mean, I guess there's no reason for it if you have no shops or anything there, so I guess they make a point to be like, get out of our neighborhood. It's just weird. It's like, I don't know. Like, neighborhoods or, like, communities that are, like, in cities and shit that are just, like, a hyper fucking standoffish of, like, literally the rest of the city, but yet still want to be, like, in a city and, like, because when you like, I mean, I'm not really talking about like, just Hasidic Jews here specifically. I'm just talking about like, like, because every city has like these type of people and shit, like in this kind of broad demographic of what I'm talking about. I mean, and it's like, you have like some of these neighborhoods that are basically like, I don't want the rest of this weird vagrant, criminal city activity around here, and basically talk shit about the city endlessly. And yet, it's like, oh, but, I love it, with how I wish it would be, just like in my neighborhood. It's like, are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure your little neighborhood is just on your weird little bubble, that you've been in this entire fucking time. It's just, I mean, it's just kind of odd. I'm sure, like, you know, at least, you know, Hasidic Orthodox Jews and shit probably don't feel this way, but at least, you know, there's some in this more broader demographic that I'm talking about that also want to, like, have, like, the rest of the city basically and be, like, how they are. And it's like, what, do you want, like, some weird, like, little bubble, you know, of your, like, to live in instead of, like, some, you know, like, a place that's just going to be inherently diverse as fuck? Because it's a city, it's an urban environment, there's going to be people from all walks of life there. She sees subway station have a rabbi kicking salt at commuters. Get out my... I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never been to New York, so I legit don't know. They seem to be okay with it. Well, I mean, well, that's what I mean. Like, when it comes to, like, the whole, like, hardcore NIMBY crowd, I mean, because they're basically, you know, like, a peculiar, like, weird religious fundo, like, version of a NIMBY. But, like, the broader, like, NIMBY demographic, though, they kind of harbor a lot of the same mindset from what at least Carl's kind of saying. At least broadly. Where it's like, no, I don't want, like, you know, I don't want these things in my backyard because it will taint our neighborhood and have, like, some vagrants be in our community and this and that and blah, 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 and all this other bullshit. It's a weird mindset, because in a weird way, like, at least with NIMBYs, like, some of them, at least, do advocate for some of these ideas, like, oh, yeah, I want, like, more housing or this and that, but they literally just don't want it in their neighborhoods where they can see it. They want, like, somebody else to be dealing with it, and it's just, like, they want to talk about how they want it, but just don't want anything to do with it. It's like, oh, yeah, I want it just way over there. It's like, we can't put it over there, though. It's like, I mean, I guess we could, but we'd have better chances and better opportunities with having it here. So it's like... It's like, man, I don't care how much it derails your property value or whatever the fuck. Because honestly, that's a lot of it, like, for a lot of these people. It's just like, oh, I don't want my property value to go down because I might, you know, like, nestle on this egg and sell it or something. Even, I hate NIMBYs. I just hate NIMBYs. A Jewish deli sandwich is meat served with a side of bread? Wait, so you basically have to make the sandwich yourself? They give you the ingredients for the sandwich. It's like, here's the meat for the sandwich, and then, like, the bread. Am I getting that right? But I've been in New York City for over 300 years to put up with everyone else somehow. Well, I went to South Williamsburg on my own. The second day there, they stared hard at me. I told them I was Albanian. They asked, why are you in the Bronx? Why are you in the Bronx? See, that's NIMBY behavior. That's some NIMBY stuff. Or it's like, why are you in that neighborhood? Like, it's that not in my backyard mentality. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, I mean, it's like, well, I was yesterday. Now I'm over here. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't get it. It's like, apparently South Williamsburg is being gentrified and taken over by hipsters. I mean, okay, so, yeah, okay, cool. So hipsters are slowly taking it over. All right, that's a weird, okay, I'm actually okay with gentrification for once. Like... I'm okay with this. Okay with what? I guess hipsters taking over South Williamsburg. The Bronx is home to the largest Albanian American community, for those who don't know. That's why they said it. I figured there was a reason why they said it. I actually didn't know that, but that's pretty cool. But, I mean, the Bronx, honestly, is a pretty diverse little neighborhood, honestly. Like, I mean, I've always wanted to go to the Bronx, honestly. I've always just wanted to go to New York City in general. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff about that place. And some bad stuff, too, for sure. Like, like the New York rats and, like, all this other shit. We all gotta live somewhere. Well, that's what I mean. I need to go to New York City. I've heard great things about it. Yeah, same here. I've definitely heard bad stuff, but I've also heard some good things too. And honestly, the bad things I hear about are just like the people, if you happen to like bump into them or something, be like, hey, I'm fucking walking here, asshole, you know, or some shit like that. But it's like, whatever. You get some people like that around here too. And honestly, I've met people from New York and who have lived in New York and shit, and they ain't bad people. So, whatever. Saw Bosniak Mosque, walked in and talked to some of them because I'm not used to seeing that, a group of them in one place. Bad things heard about the wealthy fucks and bougie Manhattan skyscrapers. I hear about that too, yeah. Is Wall Street in New York? Because if so, I would like to make my peace with some of that, you know what I mean? The most diverse apartment building in America is in Williamsburg. New York City is one of the top 10 most diverse cities in America, making it, yeah. Despite a gentrifying money hole, is still the urban out. Right. Oh, there's some raves? Cool. Dorchester building has 586 residents, which is almost evenly divided by the race into thirds: 33.1% white, 31.1% East Asian, 30.3% Hispanic, and 4.3% African American. This is a sharp contrast to the rest of Williamsburg, which is 86% white, 11% Hispanic, and 2% black, according to the Center for Urban Research. Wow. I used to see more homeless in Charleston every day than I did in my entire week-long stay in New York City. Huh. Maybe New York is starting to kind of better address the homeless problems. New York City would be hard to see all if you lived there for a year. Yeah, you would. Yeah, like yeah. Like honestly, like I would have to essentially just like, at least for me, I know I would have to basically like maybe visit there multiple times, you know, to really absorb all of it. And every time I'm there, basically like go into very specific areas, maybe kind of like revisit some places, but primarily visit new places each time, you know, just to try to like absorb as much as I could with each visit. Not my best Jewish deli food. Never in my life finished Chinese food. Well, I imagine there is. I mean, it's New York. Like, they're going to have pretty much like a little bit of everything there. I mean, Portland's kind of the same way, especially when it comes to like food carts and stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of that. So, I mean, I guess maybe for different reasons, I guess. I mean, at least when it comes to food, there's a lot of diversity when it comes to food around here. Mainly because of a lot of the food carts. And and obviously for New York, I imagine it's because of like the different restaurants, little diners, little pubs, and bars and shit. And maybe like, like little food cart, like hot dog stands occasionally, things like that nature and stuff. But maybe not as like in the same abundancy like in Portland would be. Because like we straight up have like little like blocks just dedicated to these things. Like, I don't think I've heard about New York having anything like that. I mean, I've seen like, pictures, I mean, and there's, I know in movies occasionally, and like, and I've seen, like, I've had family that have been in New York, and there's at least like maybe one or two like scattered around here and there, but there's not like a full on like pod court areas, where it's just like, 10 food carts in one little spot, it's like, we don't really have a Chinatown, we more have like a China block. Yeah, it's basically just called Old Chinatown. And yeah, it's basically just like at most like one block by one block, like a little chunk. It's kind of a cool little area, but unfortunately it's also a little seedy now. So it's kind of sketch, unfortunately. Which kind of sucks, because it's actually a pretty fucking cool little area. Isn't Church Scientology near there? Ironically, that's one of the areas I didn't spend much time in. Wait, where? I accidentally went to a gay bar in the area, though. I'm sure they probably made you feel welcome. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, because honestly, like, I mean, gay bars tend to be like super like very inclusive. Like, yeah, we want everybody, you know, to be in here. Like, I mean, they're kind of like have that vibe a lot. Like, they're very friendly spaces and shit. Let's see what's on. Oh, the church Scientology. Oh, okay. I just remember something, you know, I mean, oh, you know what? It's because there's the Golden Dragon that's across the fucking street, Church of Scientology. That's why I was thinking, like, Old Chinatown, because there's that place. The Straight White Male in Genesee in 2022. Is that hard to believe? Who's also a leftist, too. Like, I mean, yeah, so there's that as well. A leftist who's a straight white male who's a Gen Z in 2022. Yep, that's 100% a thing that exists out there in the world. In fact, that exists a lot out there in the world, I imagine. I'm pretty sure Stefan ain't the only one. My bro's even more Gen Z, and he's straight. Yeah, like, his brother is younger than him, and he's definitely far more Gen Z than he is, and he's straighter than, like, the straightest arrow you can ever find. I expect all your friends to be bi. Dude, not even, like, most of my, like, coworkers and, like, most of my work friends are also straight as fuck. Not all of them, but most of them are. And the ones that I know that aren't are either, like, gay, bi, pan, usually, like, 1 to 3. I actually know one asexual, who also is dating. So, I mean, I'll never, I don't really get, like, I still can't really totally wrap my brain around, like, asexuality a little bit, because, like, I guess I can, but it's like, well, that's not very, that's what I mean, you know, it's like, because, it's like, hey, I'm asexual, but I'm also gonna be in a relationship, which I guess that's not unheard of, that's, okay, I mean, that's, what, I mean, it's, I mean, but it's like, wouldn't that imply that there's, like, an intimate, like, you know, more desire thing going on here? I mean, I think most asexuals are just self-enforcing celibacy for dramatic reasons, like Paul said. Well, I don't know, at least for the one I know, she actually is pretty comfortable and pretty confident about just, like, being a person who's, like, you know, comfortable for herself. I mean, she doesn't really strike me as someone having, like, a lot of trauma herself. I know she has, at least one friend that, you know, has kind of been through, you know, some rough shit. I don't know what. I just kind of only heard her for the grapevine. So, I mean, you know, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if she is, but, I mean, you know, or if she has anything like that. And frankly, if so, it's like, it really ain't my biz anyway. But, I don't know. Like, for me, I think it's just more like, you know, she's actually kind of explained it to me, because for what she said, she's like, yeah, I just don't necessarily, like, see people in, like, you know, like, in the same way, in the sense of, like, you know, like, seeing someone in a sexual way, or being, like, you know, sexually, like, you know, like, active, you know, from something or for somebody, and, you know, in like, in the same way or whatever. Like, she kind of had, you know, where she's like, you know, I don't really get those same feelings, basically. You know, it's, you know, she, from what I understand, like, which, again, I don't know, it is, because, like, it just basically sounds more like, you just, you know, like, still do, but just not in the same way that other people would normally. It was a big Christian metal fan. I think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember his name, but I think I know what you're talking about, because I remember, you know, like, being in a similar metal group, you know, kind of like the metal clique, and he was a part of that, too. And yeah, I think I kind of remember him a little bit. I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, speaking of which, dude, Rip, I went to the our old high school tonight, and dude, it's like they've like changed shit up, man. Like they changed some shit about the place. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's good, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Yes, you know, because like I have some good memories, but now I'm just trying to like, when I was looking at everything, just kind of absorbing it and remembering how things were before they changed, you know, added stuff. And like, honestly, what's actually kind of cool is what they did do and what they kept. Because like, oh, dude, I don't know if, Rip, you're going to be the only one that's going to be understanding or knowing this, or know what I'm talking about here, but, like, you know the commons area, right? You know how there's that, like, little, like, hallway, you know, that would lead into the main, you know, school with the horseshoe and everything, right? Well, they kept that little, like, hallway bridge thing, you know, where, like, the two buildings are separated, and you had that little, like, gap in between the buildings. Well, they literally combined the buildings together, so now it's one big building. And you know that little gap is not there anymore, and my brain is remembering it, but now there's just this new thing, and I'm just, it was kind of tripping me out a little bit. And then I was looking up and I realized they still kept that like little whole like little like bridge, like hallway walkway thing. And I was just like, they basically gutted it and built, you know, and expanded the actual, like, you know, main school building and built around, like, that whole walkway and shit. I was like, damn. And it was actually kind of a cool little, you know, neat way of, like, us saving money while building the place and shit. You know, the art building and shit, the commons, and what used to be the main office is now the health and wellness building. And the main office is like where a classroom used to, well, it's not the same building, but it's, man, dude, they changed so much. They kept that big tree, though. That tree is still there. I'm so happy they kept the tree. I was worried that they took the tree down, but they didn't take the tree down. That big-ass tree is still there. It's like, yay! But, man, they really changed it up. Like, in a lot of ways for the better, but it looks bland and honestly kind of tacky. It looks like an office building on one side of it, and on the other side of it, unironically, looks like a fucking prison. It just looks tacky. They, like, repainted the old buildings and made it, like, this gray. Ugh. It just really does not look good. Like, at least, you know, with the paint job they gave it. It's just, like, they could have added some color, kept the original, like, kind of tan. Hell, fuck, and put some maroon and gold or something. I don't know. Like, they could have, like, added, you know, like, some color to that. Because I know on the art building, like, where the band room was, they have, like, this little art mural there. And, you know, with that same kind of gray tacky, but, like, they have a whole art mural, at least, to kind of fill it up and add color and some personality to it. It's like, do that for the rest of this fucking, like, the walls of this fucking place. It's like, it was, like, one thing that me and my coworker, because he went to the same school as we did, just different year, like, back in, like, 09 or, I think, or something like that. I think. And, or maybe it was 10. Maybe, I don't know. Like, but, he, basically, oh no, he was a senior, the year before I was a freshman, so, yeah, he was basically, like, 4 or 5 years behind us. But, like, he, you know, was mentioning, it's like, yeah, this place kind of looks a little bit like a prison. It's like, why are you taking my high school memories from me? It's kind of murmured that and kind of yelled it out a little bit. I'm just like, yeah, a little bit, though. It's like, what the fuck? This does kind of look like a prison. I mean, the interior of the auxiliary gym and shit straight up, like, it looks exactly the same like we were there. But the outside of it, just, they repainted it this weird-ass gray, and it's like, ugh. And it was in that, in the grandstands out in the field, exactly the same. They repainted it a little bit, kind of freshen it up, but it's exactly the same. Exactly to a T. And I was like, and I saw exactly where I stood at pep band and shit, you know, doing the whole, you know, like, Louie, like, and all these other things on Trump and shit. It's like, goddamn, I could see exactly where I stood, like, for the whole pep band thing. I saw exactly where my spot was. It's like, fuck. It's like, god damn it. Chicken noodle soup versus pho. Be it pho. I'm a pho guy. So, like, chicken noodle's good. Simple. Good. But via pho, dude, pho. I mean, that's like a filling, like, full-on meal in soup form. And it's just banging. Like, I love me some pho. Like, if you're just gonna get me some bitch-made chicken noodle soup that's just, like, bland and just, like, you know... I mean, let's be honest. Chicken noodle soup is bland. You got, like, chicken, got some noodle, broth. Like, oh, yeah, fancy. But pho, though. You got the fixings in that. I mean, it's like... I mean, you know, if you're gonna give me just some, you know, simple chicken noodle soup or some, like, sophisticated pho, you know what I'm going for. I'm going for the sophistication. I'm going for that good shit. I mean, both are good shit. I'll say this at least. Like, chicken noodle soup is good as fuck. I love that shit. But pho, though, I'm a little bit more of a fan of that. That's better. That's better in my mind. It's more filling. It's more like, it's got more of the fixings. More flavorful. I mean, it's just better. I mean, at least for me. I mean, maybe some of you are fucking weird ass heretics out there, but I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I'm one of the enlightened ones, you know, that understand the true nature of what is good soup. And pho is some fucking fire stuff right there. This place in 49th Division. Fomika. So damn good. Oh, there's like this restaurant off of McLaughlin called Pho Guy. Me and my mom used to go there all the time. And holy shit, it was so good. I think they would have star anise in it or something, because like after I would eat it, I would legit have like a tingly sensation throughout my body. It actually felt really, like, the first few times, I'm like, why do I kind of feel weird? Like, I didn't say anything initially, because I was like, this guy feels odd. But after, you know, eating there more and more, because of how good it was, I'm like, you know, I kind of like this feeling. And I was mentioning Mom at one point, and she's like, oh yeah, I think that might be, you know, some star anise stuff. I think that's like an ingredient or something. Yeah, that they use. I'm just like, oh, and I looked it up about what it is, and yeah, it, like, you know, and apparently does, you know, some interesting things. Do you put sriracha in it? I don't think it comes to, I don't think the place had sriracha, but it did, you know, they will ask you, do you want, like, you know, mild, hot, or, like, extra spicy, and I usually just do, like, either mild or hot. I usually kind of go one of those two levels. I order my pho 10-10 on spicy level with extra white onion, green onion, and cilantro. That's the right way to do it. Oh, dude. That sounds like the right way to do it. Like a good sweat. Dude, I mean, yeah, with pho, you need a little bit of a good sweat in it. A little bit. You need some of the sweats. Just a little. Pho needs sriracha. I mean, like I said, I don't know if... Well, honestly, they might have, but I just didn't notice because, like, as soon as I see that fucking, like, bowl of pho, I just start digging right in. Like, yeah, so honestly, maybe it was on the table, but I just don't know that shit because I see that pho, and I'm just like, alright, I'm going in. Like, this looks too good. I can't just let that just sit there. Vietnamese coworker would always be dripping. Slurping loudly, not giving a shit. Well, from what I understand, like, in, like, Eastern culture stuff, I think it's actually kind of considered respectful doing that, actually, because it's, like, a sign of, like, this is some good shit. Like, I mean, like, it's kind of weird, like, certain things that we might consider rude or actually might be kind of considered like, you know, either respectful or considered like, you know, polite in a sense of when you do it, certainly. I heard that actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah. I don't know how widespread it actually is, but I know at least in some places, you know, that actually is considered like a sign of respect because it's like, this is good. Pho is epic. Definitely my favorite Vietnamese food. Oh, yeah, 100. Like, honestly, just like Asian food and Far Eastern food is just like fucking really good. Like pho, pad thai. I mean, you know, fucking like even like Indians, you know, food and shit. Like, you know, like vindaloo and stuff like that. I love me some vindaloo. That shit is really good. When I tried that once, I tried to make some shrimp vindaloo once, and it's basically like onions and like some carrots and like some celery, you know, stuff like that with like potatoes and some rice and like curry sauce. Yeah, it's mixed in with it. And it could come with a different meat, and I decided to get it with shrimp. And oh my god, that shit is fire and delicious as fuck. Get that with a little bit of some spiciness and some hot in there, and whoo, oh, it's so good. You can go over broke and teach English to university students to just hang out and drink beer and eat street food and ride around on a motorcycle. I mean, shit, I want to, like, I mean, I honestly would like to visit Vietnam and shit. I like to kind of check out some of the museums they have over there. Because, obviously, I know they would probably have, like, haha, we beat you, America, fuck you. Like, they'll probably have that, you know, kind of mentality with, you know, if I went to some of those museums, but, whatever, you know, like, I'd still enjoy it. Though they kind of have a right to brag. Not only do they, like, fend off America and France, and, like, you know, like, they also fend off China. Like, they basically went, like, they're kind of like Asia's Afghanistan. They're like, yeah, you can't hold us forever. Like, fuck you. Like, we're gonna have the trees speak for us, you know what we're saying? You know, start aiming for the trees. It's like, not even that, but also, like, for the ground, too, because they'll just boop. More stable than Afghanistan, though. True. I mean, to be fair, true. That's kind of a caveat with that, I suppose. There is a little difference to that. Vietnamese don't hate Americans anymore. Americans hate Japanese. Well, yeah, I'm sure, like, you know, Vietnamese don't actually, like, you know, or at least just the average people probably don't necessarily outright do that, but most Americans don't mind Japan. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't have, like, any vitriol against Japan over Pearl Harbor. If there's, like, anyone that, like, still thinks that, unless they're, like, 90-something, and even then, it's just like, why? That's, like, that was literally, like, beyond, like, that's coming along, like, 80 years ago, okay? Well, a little, actually, 81 years ago. So, it's like, why? It's like, why? You know, it's like you're at Thanksgiving or the Christmas reunion, and it's like you got 92-year-old grandma just like, those goddamn, I also don't even want to say it, but it's like, those goddamn Japanese, you know, when they invaded Pearl Harbor, those sons of bitches. I know I didn't even want to say it, but it's just like, you know what they'd say. Defeated three world powers, so that came out decent. Well, decent enough. America's fucking Agent Orange and you know and all that shit. Like, it didn't exactly do the Vietnamese people any favors. Like, a lot of the Vietnamese population really do legit suffer for a lot of, like, genetic deformities and stuff, literally because of the direct ramifications of American attacks via Agent Orange and, you know, the things of the like. Amongst, you know, a lot of the other chemical warfare we did there. Like, dumping all sorts of other pesticides and shit. Because, primary reason is because, well, you know, the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese Army obviously was using the environment to their advantage in this thick jungle environment, which, outside of island hopping campaigns, you know, back in the Pacific War II and shit, and Korea, kinda, and even then, not totally, you know, it's just like, we never had experience in the jungle, so our idea was like bomb the fuck out of it and burn the shit out of it and pesticide the fuck out of it, because what can go wrong? That surely won't make everybody in that region hate us for a while. Thus, give them long-term health ramifications that they're feeling up to this day. There's a veteran on my dad's side family was trained Montagnards, like in Apocalypse Now, you get exposed to Agent Orange and self-problems to say it. Exactly my point. Like, I mean, there's, like veterans, like there's straight up, like Americans that actually have complications from Agent Orange because they were the guys, that were kind of like directly around that shit. And it's like, I mean, it's like, it's like, and they weren't even outright directly exposed in the sense of being like, like in the midst of that shit. They just happen to be around it. So it's like, I mean, just even being around the shit, can cause problems. Even if you're not like directly exposed in the midst of the stuff, like just handling the barrels and just like handling all the fucking like materials that they're being held in and shit. It was what caused a lot of problems for some of these dudes and shit. Because obviously they're going to be used as weapons and be released anyway, so they weren't exactly like tightly sealed, obviously. So some of that stuff, kind of leached out a little bit and, made contact with us too a little bit. Which, thank fuck we don't use that anymore, but it's just like, the fact that we did in the first place anyway, and from the get-go is a travesty. Honestly, speaking of that, like, little timeline of things, like, apparently, like, JFK files were supposed to have been released apparently like years ago, but it's basically been like postponed like by the like last couple administrations. Like the Trump administration postponed it, the Biden administration has postponed it, literally because like CIA and the FBI are like, hold on, please give us a little more time to like scrub some stuff, and then we'll just like we'll let you have it. So it's like by 2023, they're either going to postpone it again, which is going to be fucking annoying, or they're going to release this stuff finally. And honestly, it's just like there's just like, obviously like a lot of different theories and a lot of interesting ideas about the JFK incident, obviously. But like, I feel like I have an idea about kind of what happened a little bit, because I actually recently was looking this up a little bit, just because, I thought about it recently. I was like, what if someone runs in 2024 on declassified fuckton 1990s dirt? Dude, like, I don't care what side of the aisle politically somebody would be on, they would be in favor of somebody like that. Gun-ho's a lot of weirdo Republican conspiracy fucktards would be like, yeah, he's gonna release the truth. And then there's going to be, like, lefties and Democrats like, yeah, we should, have more transparency. So, like, dude, there's going to be a lot of people, if someone was able to, like, be a nominee on either side of the political aisle and actually do that and run on that and commit to that, like, dude, that person would be a popular motherfucker. Like, honestly, even if they literally did nothing else and just declassify everything over, the, 4 years, like, I mean, I think, that in itself potentially, like, win a re-election off of somebody. But, anyway, like, I also kind of have a little bit of a theory, because, I was reading up a little bit about it, just about some of those tangential details and stuff. And one thing is that, there's a speculative, like, third shot. Well, there really isn't speculative. There was, like, a third shot that, people either speculate that either, like, you had to have been a master marksman with a bolt-action rifle to make the shot, or someone else shot it. And there's actually a picture and actually some footage of, when the first shot rung out, a Secret Service member pulling out what, was kind of like an experimental rifle at the time. that was kind of limitedly issued to some Secret Service members, but not all of them. Because it was more of an experimental rifle. They were kind of testing it out at the time, which actually I think ended up becoming what is now the AR-15. Actually, from what I remember correctly, because it wasn't totally rolled out yet. But like I said, it was kind of limited, to some people, and some Secret Service members had it. But at this point, it had a lot of problems with shit like jamming, misfires, and things like that. But despite that, some service members have that. And basically, like, when this guy, and you can kind of see a picture of him holding the rifle, but I know there's at least like one photo that is at least, available. And it is at least kind of known that, at least when it came to the Secret Service members that were on that team at the time, that one of their weapons was noted to be discharged. One of them. And only one bullet fired out of it. Because there's only one bullet missing. And what happened was, at least in theory, is that it misfired, and at the angle, because, they sped up, and because he had his hand, obviously on the hand, pistol grip, and slipped, and it misfired, and the theory is that his angle of shot when it misfired was the one that hit Kennedy, and was actually the shot that killed him. And because, obviously, the insane embarrassment, and the insane, we accidentally just shot our own guy we're supposed to protect, basically. With that whole sense, it's, you don't want that just a public thing. You don't want that released and shit. And also, from my understanding, the FBI, literally took Kennedy's head without any explanation, and literally almost got in a fucking, standoff with the fucking Dallas Police Department over it. So there's, there was kind of some, legit interesting shit around his death and shit. And I think, honestly, the theory is that I think Oswald was one of the dudes trying to whack the guy. Whether he was, involved by, the CIA or some shit. Well, I think he was actually a former CIA agent, so he likely still was. But, while he was meant to be the main guy, the likelihood is that he ended up kind of being more of a lucky fallout dude because of the mishap of this new gun that is being experimented with and limited to some service members, at least when it comes to Secret Service. And, because of the event of speeding up, oh shit, there's a shooter around, and we got to be on guard, and he getting his weapon and having it ready. And because of that event and, the misfire and just wrong angle, wrong time, wrong everything, end up being the kill shot. And I think that honestly seems kind of a plausible idea, especially considering how much of it would be covered up. Because if it was Oswald was tied to Russia or some shit, then it would have been we would have been blaring about that from day one and shit. Or if it's a lone wolf, it would have just been come out oh yeah, he was working alone and shit, which, yeah, so it's obviously it had to have been, some form of internal factor, governmentally, whether intentionally or otherwise, maybe a little both, frankly, that end up, being kind of a catalyst to it. Because honestly, there definitely is a lot of interesting shit. And frankly, we ain't gonna truly know until they, release the fucking files. Right? There are, and honestly, I don't think there's some, magic bullet or other weird shit, or the mole in the grass mole guy or something. I don't think it's any weird shit like that. Cause, for me, it's I don't think it went that fucking deep with it. I do think that, there definitely was some scrupulous shit, for sure. But, kind of on the same level of how, 9/11 was kind of fuckety in a way. When it came to, the government being aware of these things and just not really doing anything, if anything, using that purposely as a justification to, kind of change the way how America, is when it comes to foreign policy and shit as we know it today. So it's just it just kind of, it's more of like on that level where it's like, I mean, it's not like some deeper like thing necessarily. It's just like, it's more of, a way to try to, make sure, geopolitically and domestically, the main, capital owner political powers that are the main influence, make sure it goes the way that benefits them the most when it comes to the maximization of their own influence and power and shit. Because they already do that now. That's not exactly anything new. They've been doing that. But it's just like, at least when it comes to JFK thing, I don't think it was like necessarily due to like some, I mean, I guess the closest maybe the mob, I guess, but I don't know. That seems a little like more speculative at best. So I don't really know how like tough that really holds up. I mean, I guess a little bit, but I don't think the mob would have been that like ballsy. I mean, they're a ballsy org, especially at least during those times, but they were kind of, I don't see them going that ballsy, being like, yeah, we'll just like president. It's like, I don't know. That just seems a little out there for me a bit. I guess maybe, but there just have to be some a little more concrete. From what I've seen, at least when it comes to that theory, I don't know, it doesn't really hold as much water for me. But the man Stalgar would have killed for a bowl of pipe and octagonals. I'm sure they would. Based on what I gather, the shot isn't that difficult for a trained marksman. The only real difficult part is his movie target. Well, yeah. Which, obviously, like, for someone like Oswald, he was a marksman in a way. He knew how, handle his way around a rifle. Like, he wasn't like some, like, trained outright professionalized marksman and shit outside of just, knowing how to shoot one and, like, shoot something that's downrange. Like, came moving target, like, it's, for him, it would have been, a little bit more difficult in comparison to, like, someone who's, been more trained and shit. And especially by that point, he wasn't, like, in consistent training and, and shit like that. Like, he was, like, he, like, essentially defected to Moscow, came back, and all this other shit, so if you're Dexter marksman as he was. Yeah, like I said, he wasn't, like, necessarily, like, keeping up with it, by that point. Well, I don't know, maybe, I guess, leading up to the event, I'm sure he was training up and stuff, and, rehashing a lot of his skills, but, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like he could have, for sure. And honestly, I do think he was the guy that was trying to, he was the main shooter. Like, I believe that, for sure. But, at least when it comes to the whole, like, third shot, or the one that, like, actually killed him and stuff, I mean, I do think, there's a possibility that, at least when it comes to, like, an accidental discharge of a firearm that's kind of experimental, that's, being used, that would shortly later be used in the Vietnam War and stuff, and even then, the same weapon had a lot of propensities and misfires and jams and all that type of shit, which is actually why they had that little bump, on the side, with that little button on the side, where, like, every now and then, like Call of Duty or some shit, you'll see someone pop, tap that, that little thing. Like, that's actually where that came in. It was because that would help, feed, the bolt in and shit like that, because it would have a propensity jam, and that would kind of force the bolt to be like, get the fuck in there, and actually feed it and stuff. So, that's kind of actually why they added that little button on the side. I forgot exactly what the name of it is, but I don't own an AR-15, because I don't really care about those that much. I like AKs, not the other 15s. So too complicated, sophisticated. AKs 437. AK very simple. The forward release, yeah. See, AK very simple. Don't have sophisticated forward release and all this other bullshit. It's simple. Bolt, charge, boom. There you go. Something in it, remove dust cover, get the fuck out of there, put it back on, bolt, boom. It's like, there you go. 8K simple, AR-15 too sophisticated. Sophisticated like the goddamn random ass babushka that does not explain her bush recipe. Cause she has like goddamn 40 fucking ingredients and 20 spices and I don't understand any of it, but damn it's good. I would admit that. I thought it'll pass. Oh wait, hold on. What? Set to release bulletin battery when Alexa upon opening. Yeah. Oh holy shit, there's a bill introduced to ban TikTok that completely undermine the First Amendment. I thought it'll pass, but it's telling that this is all things priorities, fuckers. I mean, like... I think it's awful to tell that TikTok, a Chinese company, is banned in China, but is deemed by the CCP to be perfectly fine for America. Which... they tend to collect data and information on Chinese companies, which they use to collect data and information off of Americans. Which, honestly, it's not that, but also all these, like, quote-unquote TikTok, you know, challenges and all this other shit. Like, honestly, frankly, I do legit think TikTok is fucking bad. Like, way worse in comparison to, like, you know, like, these stereotypical like social medias of like, you know, like Snapchat or whatever the fuck. Like I honestly think, you know, they can be kind of bad too personally, but like honestly with TikTok not to the same degree, because there is straight up like outright fucking you know, like these challenge, like, you know, the whole, you know, that Tide Pod challenge and stuff that came from TikTok, you know, like the whole like devious lick where kids were, you know, during COVID were stealing shit from school. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? But like, you know, the whole devious lick meme, like, you know, during 2020, during COVID, where kids were stealing shit from schools or whatever the fuck, randomly, that was TikTok. Like, I mean, there was a lot of these challenges where there was straight up, like, criminal or deadly, like, self-harm activity being, like, promoted as challenges that directly came from TikTok. Are you trying to terrorize everything? What is wrong with you? What are you doing? Like, honestly, like, I did devious licks before that was a thing. I steal books and packages of print paper. I mean, honestly, to be fair, there were some library books that I kind of forgot to turn in that I still have. I mean, they got like 1,000 copies of them anyway. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, honestly. I mean, if it's like books or just printed paper, it's whatever. But like these licks went so far to where, hold on, you know, there's actually like it's Blanco, I think. Like, dude, this guy actually has like one where it's about these like TikTok challenges about the devious licks. Dude, straight up. Like, when it came to like this, knock it off. Sit. Oh my god, what is wrong with you? Yeah, you better shake that tail. You better shake that tail. You fucking little poser. What's wrong with you? God. A little menace. Alright, hold on. I think I found it. I just need to find the right one. Oh my god, dude. Honestly, like, I found straight up just a compilation of these goddamn things, okay? Like, I mean, I don't even know if I need to just find one particular one when there's, like, all these... You know what? I mean... Let's just start randomly here. Let's just start in the middle. Here you go.
And the trend because of how fucking dumb people were being. For the fire trend, people would put a flammable liquid on their body and then set themselves on fire. Now, originally, people were just doing simple...
Started from TikTok, by the way, because, you know, that's a great idea!
stuff like hand sanitizer, and if you know how to do it right, it can make a really cool trick. But people on this app are being fucking stupid and using liquids like gasoline. And you're probably thinking, oh, there's no way people were dumb enough to do that. Oh, no. People were dumb enough to do that, sweetheart. There was a trend where people would mix jelly, hand sanitizer, bleach, and shaving cream in a Ziploc bag and hold it up to their eye, thinking that it would change their eye color. And people genuinely believe that this worked. Now, baby girl, I hate to break it to you, but a bunch of random-ass items from CVS does not change your eye color. The art of fractal wood...
In fact, it makes you blind!
...talk for a while. This is an art of designing wood that uses a very high-voltage tool and should only be done by professionals. Because if you fuck up, there can be very bad consequences, like setting your house on fire, which is exactly how multiple people who tried this died. The Kia challenge was a challenge where people would break into cars and steal them. People would post themselves hot wiring a car and then taking off with it. And for some reason, people were specifically stealing Kias and Hondas. This fucking trend alone caused Kia and Honda thefts to skyrocket over 2,500%. Committing auto theft for a TikTok trend. Are you fucking kidding me? What the
Nope.
fuck is next? The rob a bank challenge? And how could we forget
Oh, here's the devious licks.
the devious lick trend?
Devious
Trend where
licks.
people were just stealing the most random shit from their schools that they could find. These kids were somehow stealing the most random and insane items. Water fountains, toilets, the pet lizard, the projector.
Dude, a pet lizard!
Someone somehow stole the smart board. Even
A smart board!
fucking fire extinguisher. People were just stealing the most random shit. People somehow stole the school bus. It got
A bus! A school bus, dude! Yo, with this devious lick for TikTok, I'm gonna take the school bus, fam. Like, someone did a devious lick on TikTok to steal a fucking school bus. A school bus! A school bus. Like, what to see why TikTok should probably be banned?
that so many schools had to lock up their stuff so that these dumbass kids wouldn't steal it.
Man, no wonder schools look like prisons now.
Challenge was a challenge where men would dip their family jewels in a thing of soy sauce, believing that they would be able to taste it that way. And a lot of people genuinely believed that this worked. However, it doesn't, and that's for one simple reason. Your fucking balls don't have taste buds on them. It's called basic fucking anatomy. For the scalp popping
Oh my god. Okay, see, see? I mean, that one's, I guess, a little more harmless, because it's like, here, let me just dip my balls in soy sauce. It's like, yeah, you're not gonna taste that, you're just gonna make your balls really salty with soy sauce. I mean, it's like, what the fuck? Like, the fire challenge, like, there's one I saw in there called the poop challenge, the Kia challenge, where you still got him on the Kias. I mean, you see why maybe you probably should, frankly. You don't see Facebook and, like, Twitter, like, I mean, yeah, they got problems, and they should be fucking held accountable and all this other shit, too. Like, absolutely. But, like, I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, it's like, TikTok is a little bit worse, honestly. In fact, a lot worse, I think. Like, when I, like, say unironically I want it banned, I do mean it. So, honestly, it's like a broken clock, right? To write twice a day of Congress. It's like, alright, like, cool. I mean, it's like, I don't like all the other social media platforms, and I want their shit dealt with, too, but, like, fuck. I mean, TikTok is terrible. It's actually horrible. Like, who had Reddit high schools could have read a Confederacy of Dunces or House of Seven Gables. I didn't deprive anyone of anything by stealing them. I mean, yeah, like, you know, like, honestly, like, Devious Lake Challenge should be okay if it's like, oh, I took, like, a book from the library once or something. Or, like, a mouse from the computer lab. But, no, it's like, we're gonna take a smart board. Or, like, fire extinguishers, or school buses. It's like, no, let's steal those. Let's do devious licks of those things. Like, what the fuck? Like, TikTok is psychologically, like, actually fucking seriously damaging. So is a lot of other social media, but, like, who says we can't have priorities here, you know? Because I think we need some priorities. And the priorities are be goneth thy TikTok. Be purged of thy sins. American Woodcocks demonstrate some moves. What? Some moves? Oh shit. Oh damn, look at that. Oh man, they're getting funky. Damn, dude, they got some moves. Damn, even the little babies are getting into it. Damn. Dude, they were getting into it. Why'd they do that? What the hell? How do you even do that? Like, what's the human version of doing that? Like, I want to move my head, not my body for some reason. Like, how do you do that? Like, damn, they just got those moves. They just got nothing but funk vibes. When I was in high school, some people in my English lit class quietly stole a book off the black shelves. Or the black shelves, the back shelves before exiting out of class. By the end of the term, most of the books are gone, all stacked in our lockers. After graduation, they took all the books to this place and booked his house. They even stole a huge dictionary off the special stand for it. Oh my, did the teacher even notice? Like, or did the teacher just not notice at all? Or did the teacher notice, like, at some point, like, he was so old he didn't really notice? Oh my god. Why am I honestly not surprised? Oh. You know, I actually mentioned earlier that I was at a little paper mill and stuff. Like, this is a paper mill out. I mean, I think more than actually know of it. I know Rip City does too. Like, it used to be called the Blue Heron Paper Mill, Oregon City. Then it closed down at some point, and then fucking had a fire at some point and shit. Well, I decided to go there, and fucking straight up, like, I've been there before. Yeah, I went there I went there a couple years back. I went there last year, and this year hold on, you know, let me see if I can find some old pictures from the last time I went. Let's see here, because if so, I want to kind of show comparison a little bit here. Let's see here. It was before I had Zukov, so why is... Okay, yeah, it's gonna be somewhere back here. Somewhere back here. Let's see here. Where would they be? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Alright. Cool. So this is like when I first like went to it. But like, so you see that building right here? This one? That's not there anymore. Well, actually, no, wait. Hold on. Yeah, no, these buildings are still here. But there was another building just directly right out of view from... Oh, yeah, this. Right here. That's not there anymore. This is all torn down now. All this stuff, the building, those buildings right here and shit, they're not there anymore. And this is when I was in the silo. That's still there. All this is still here. These photos, these are all still here, right here. Like that silo and stuff, and that building, that's still there. But they tore down some of these buildings now. But we explored more deep into these buildings, and I don't even think they have security there anymore now. Because they used to, but now at this point, they're dead asses. Like, there was like fucking nobody. Actually, they're on our way out. There was like one random dude that was there, like who entered as we were leaving, and we're just like, whoop. Can't see photos. What? I can't see them. They're like right here. See? Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, for some reason, yeah, my screen's all fucked up. What the fuck? Screens, why you jank? Alright, hold on. I know how to fix them. Give me 1 second. I gotta deal with some bullshit. Gotta take out these current screens and then fucking... Alright, hold up. I gotta do this first. Boink. There we go. Okay, hold up. I can fix the screens. They just need to be removed first and then put back in there so they can cooperate with me. What the fuck? Boo! They were working earlier, but now they're not. Boo. Here we go. Boop. And... boop. Alright, should be working now, I hope. Oh, is it there? Yeah, there we go. Whoa! Whoa! Alright, there we go. Alright, here, now let me go back. So anyway, yeah, these buildings, they're still here. And then the silo is still here and shit. But this building right here, and this stuff, is taken down now. Like, this isn't here anymore. Like, because they're slowly but surely, I guess, tearing down the mill. And, or what's left of it. But they still at least have some of that, kind of clinging around a little bit. Oh, here, hold on. Let me do this real quick. Okay. Then let me go to some current pictures here. From when... boop! I was in there. So, the foundation of what used to be that building is growing these crazy-ass looking plants. So, there's this weird-ass looking thing. It's just like... I don't even know what plant this is. Like, if anyone knows what it is, I mean, gotta let me know. Because this plant was, like, a fat... Like, this... Like, that plant is... This plant is at least, like, a fucking, like... 16-inch, like, circumference. Like, it was a fat-ass plant. Then I got just some blank-ass pictures here for some reason. And then my weird-ass, just being like, what? But I was in this room when I did that. Just kind of checking out some of this. And it's kind of the same room. It kind of looked like there was a fire in here, though, because it has all this shit in here. It's kind of left over. Plant looks like something that's not supposed to be there. It kind of looks alien a little bit. This looks like some, like, eerie, like, backrooms shit right here, though, honestly. This is, like, kind of a ominous-looking picture. I'm not even gonna lie. But then there's this funny picture right here. I'm fucking faded in this dope-ass bando. Vouch. Well, there's also like this little memorial thing at our old high school and shit. And this is just like actually kind of some random ass like little things I thought were kind of cool that I noticed on there. Plumber Steam Raiders, I think. Steam Riders, I think. It was like an R and an I, so it's like Steam Riders, but it was a local, so it's like there's like different little local unions that kind of fucking donated, for this little project or whatever to, you know, kind of build that little thing up. It's like this little granite hexagonal thing that, you know, kind of has a memorial for people that went to the school that fucking basically, you know, like in service in the military and shit that have, like, you know, died whether in, you know, service and shit. Steam fitters. Oh, steam fitters. Okay. Oh yeah, I see it now, and I zoomed more closer to it, and I see the F in there. Yeah. But I thought that was kind of cool, seeing that little thing there. Like, whenever I see, like, little, you know, like, little memorials or things like, or kind of, like, little plaques or statues and stuff, I mean, I kind of feel like, you know, little, like, local unions and stuff, you know, could probably do stuff a little bit more like that, because it kind of does leave a little bit of a tiny, like, subconscious impact a little bit. And also, especially kind of letting them know, it's like, hey, we're a part of the community here and shit. Because, I mean, if you have, like, you know, the whole, like, sense of, like, having, you know, people together, you know, like, at a school or some shit, and they don't really know idea about what unions are, and, you know, they see that, and they're like, oh, what's this, you know, local thing? What's this? And they look it up on their little smarty phone and shit, and then they see that it's a union, and they're like, oh, what's that? And then look that up, you know, and it just kind of goes from there, you know? So it's like, I mean, it kind of, in a way, kind of helps plant a little seed when it comes to, like, you know, giving a sense of, like, you know, awareness, you know, about these ideas and stuff. It's just kind of like a subconscious thing, though. I mean, it's not like obviously being like, yo, look us up or whatever. It's just kind of like, just, you know, simply saying it's like, hey, you know, this wouldn't be a thing without the, you know, monetary help and investment, you know, from this local union and shit. And I think there was another one. There was like an auxiliary number, something. VFW or something like that. I don't know if they're like specifically a union or not, but sounds like one. I mean, I haven't looked that one up specifically, so I actually don't know. Who needs unions when they're on my grind set? Who needs unions when I'm a semi grind set? Big business knows what's best for America. Treat their workers well. I tell you what, because you gotta be on that Sigma grind set, bruh. I don't want to be low and lazy, you know, with some weird bare minimal thing that, you know, and stuff. Meh, gross. The little St. James Tate grind set. Oh my god. The little St. James Tate grind set. Oh my god. What the fuck? Dios fucking mio. Number 14. That's still a problem. It's kosher. What? Oh my god. Oh my god! What the fuck is this baptism, dude? Gonk! Gonk! What's up? Like, so aggressive, what the fuck? What? Oh my god! What the hell? Why? That's just so fucking, just what the fuck? Oh my god! That's abuse? That just straight up is. Like, what the fuck? I'm, like, fuck baptisms, period, anyway. Like, but it's one thing to be like, boop. And then there's like, okay, here you go. It's just like, I mean, there's like kind of an absolute fucking difference in that. Like, oh my god. Russian Armenian. I don't know or care where it's from. That's just like, what the fuck? Oh my god. How to be dunked roughly in the circumstance, though? Fair enough. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. I guess at this point, I don't really care one way or the other. But I'd rather have the choice at this point, you know? Because at this point, I could have a choice, and I wouldn't care one way or the other. But, like, then, and honestly, for me, it was just because, like, the doctor did it anyway, and didn't even consult either of my parents. Straight up. My dad was just pissed off that, you know, he wasn't consoled or anything about it. My mom was okay because she's like, oh, I kind of wanted that anyway. But, like, I mean, it's like, my dad was like, why didn't you at least, like, you know, ask us or inform us or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, but that's my dad kind of stuck up for me. I'll give him that credit. He at least stuck up for me on that one. Before I could even have a voice, he stuck up for me on that. Not entirely, only about halfway, but, you know, he did. I'll give him that. Because honestly, there isn't really, like, the only closest, like, practical argument you could probably make of it is, like, oh, it's cleaner, but it's, like, honestly, like, as long as you just, like, when you take showers, like, just clean down there, just, like, if you were cut or not, like, I mean, you won't have those issues. So, it's, like, I mean, it's honestly the whole, like, oh, be cleaner or whatever. It's, like, it's kind of just a mute point. It's, like, kind of irrelevant. It's, like, I guess, sure, but as long as you're just being hygienic down there and, like, you're not gonna have problems. Like, regardless. Because even if you're not, because even if you are cut, like, you're gonna have issues. Like, if you don't take care of your stuff down there. Either way. So it's just like, just take care of your shit. You'll be good. That's it. You know, it's like, you don't need to, like, do anything necessarily. I mean, unless you want to. I mean, again, it's, like, I think it should just be a choice once, like, you're able to, like, you know, make those decisions. Like, I guess, you know, like, I would say, like, you know, 16 and up, like, if you think you personally want to do that as a decision on your own, sure. I guess parent, guardian, consent stuff, I suppose, but, you know, whatever. But at least, especially once you're an adult, yeah, like, if you want to do that, go ahead. Like, yeah, it shouldn't be a big deal. But that's the thing, because it's a choice at that point. Like, I'm okay if people having choice to do that type of stuff, but, like, just the whole fucking, like, just force it once you're born or, like, shortly after you're born type of bullshit is just kind of fucked up. Because that's just straight up just genital mutilation at that point. And that shouldn't be a fucking thing. While at the same time, a lot of these fucking far-right evangelical puritanical fucktards, you know, will cry about how there's, like, genital mutilation and grooming and all this other shit going on with, like, LGBTQ space and stuff. While they're the ones who are the most fucking, you know, like, prominent about advocating for, like, genital mutilation on babies and shit when it comes to these boys. I grant them that they don't really advocate that for girls, but I'm sure they probably, you know, would for some of the more extreme cases. It's better Americans in that regard. Well, with the whole circumcision thing, no. Yeah, probably. But yeah, they, like, when it comes to, like, any, like, change that someone does on their body, including things like circumcision and shit, it should always just be a choice. So it's like, if someone who's able to make, rational decisions, or at least, well, okay, like, at least, be able to think for themselves and be able to decide, on their own, like, yeah, I want to have a procedure and I want it to be this, like, then by all means. That's why I kind of at least say 16, because, I mean, there could be 16-year-olds that be like, yeah, I want this, and, well, honestly, even younger than that, to be frank. But, I mean, at least when it comes to something like a circumcisional, like, surgery, I want to really, I'll kind of treat it like when it comes to, like, the whole, like, whole trans, therapy and treatment when it comes to kids right now, I guess. Like, when it comes to actual surgeries, wait until they're adult. Like, it's kind of essentially is how I feel about that. It's because, at least, obviously, because when it comes to trans surgeries, and when it comes to kids who are trans, they don't get, quote unquote, that's the far right will say genital mutilation or whatever, but, or, trans surgeries, or anything. They get that when they're adults. Like, they have all the other, like, therapies and treatments, that go into, being trans, before that. But they don't get a surgery up until they're an adult, until they're 18 and up. Like, it's always been like that. It's never been different. Like, I don't even think there's, like, an outlier fucking case in this matter. Like, it's just not an issue. It's just not happening. Like, unless there's, like, some medical science, on the issue that says, like, hey, it can be done at a younger age, like at 16 or 14 or something, then maybe the argument would be different. But that's just not the case right now. So it doesn't happen. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, just treat circumcision like that. Just, like, wait until they're an adult. At the very minimal, at least being able to make a rational decision on their own merit to be like, yeah, I want this procedure. Because they might make that at a younger age, but, it's just like, at the very least, it needs to either be that or just until they're a fucking adult. Because it's like, I mean, it's just, because beyond that, as far as I'm concerned, it's just fucking genital mutilation of children. And that's fucked. It's like, as much as the fucking far right wants to cry about it, it's like, maybe they should look in their own fucking circles. Because they seem to advocate a lot when it comes to the whole circumcision argument. I suppose maybe not as much as they used to anymore, but they still do. Like, it's just still, like, a cultural norm to them. Like, I mean, to the point where, like I said, at least for me, where some doctors will just do it. Because it's just a cultural norm to them, and it's like, oh, well, I've had it done. I've always, known people who have had this done. It's just a norm. So me as a doctor, I'm just going to do it because it's the norm. Like, I mean, it's just like, it's just a cultural zeitgeist that, needs to be challenged. And I think it honestly kind of is, at this point, but maybe not as much as it probably should. Because, especially considering the whole, like, trans genital mutilation, transphobic arguments and shit that are being used right now, I think it could be a good opportunity to actually, like, kind of aggressively talk about that. Because it's just like, you want to cry about, like, this, pseudo reality bullshit of what's going on, because it's not. And yet, you don't want to talk about the actual fucking reality when it comes to genital mutilation of children. Kind of curious how that works. I mean, it's just kind of the whole doff protest too much thing. It's like, because when it comes to the whole, like, oh, we want to protect kids, and we want to go after groomers, or, like, deal with, like, genital mutilation of these children, and blah, 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 and all this other garbage. Like, it's all just, them doff protesting just well, not a little, but a lot of too much. Where it's to a point where, they, like, are basically just kind of, like, just saying the quiet part loud, but just projecting it and scapegoating, an entire different, communities, to do so. And unfortunately, it's nothing new, but it's just, been very ramped up, especially as of, recent years, and, maybe even to an extent, probably even more so than even in the past, to a degree. I mean, so it's like there definitely just needs to be, at least in my opinion, be a major fucking aggressive challenge on different like kind of like cultural zeitgeists and norms and stuff that have just been kind of like taken as like, oh, it's okay, you know, as long as we're civil, it's fine. Like, and honestly, in the ingrained like whole cultural like zeitgeist of Christianity and religiosity in this country needs to be aggressively fucking challenged because of the fucking harm and damage and psychological, you know, deadliness it honestly has. Because there are, to this day, still like extremist like gay conversion therapy camps in this country, and they're basically just concentration camps and torture camps for kids who happen to be queer or happen to be a little like neurodivergent in one way, shape, or form, and you know, or happen to be a little like rebellious, you know, or whatever the fuck. And it's basically just like, you know, these fucking conversion camps and or like, you know, these fucking like little religious like re-educational camps and shit, and they're basically just like torture camps. That's just all they are, and it causes nothing but harm, destruction, and trauma for these fucking kids. And yet it's the, you know, it's, you know, been challenged in the past, but it's still a fucking norm in a lot of different places in this country, because especially when it comes to the Christian culture and shit, there's still a very strong mentality of, you know, even softly or extremely, this mentality of like, oh, homosexuality or queerness is a sin. And even some of the more liberal Christians will believe this shit and be accepting of queer people, but deep down think it's a sin and think it's wrong. And they don't want the more kinkier, more like, you know, radical sides of, you know, queerness and shit that come along with it sometimes, you know, because some people want to be maybe a little bit more expressive, you know, with some of, you know, of how they feel, like when it comes to things like drag shows and shit, and will criticize these type of things and, you know, be, you know, against these type of things while being accepting of gay people or queer folk and shit, but, you know, to a point, because at the end of the day, they think it's a sin, they think it's wrong, and they think, you know, society at the end of the day would be better without them. You know, it's just what, you know, the whole Christian culture and the whole Christian religious, just the broader religiosity of the zeitgeist is. And it's harmful, and it's devastating, and it's destructive. I mean, and like I've personally had to deal with some of it, and I've known too many fucking, you know, cases, you know, whether personally or, you know, via online, of the destruction and the harm and devastation it could fucking do, and in the misguidedness that it brings. And it's just like, it's something that needs to be aggressively fucking challenged. I mean, not just online, but like, you know, in this country, like specifically. Like, most of this country is still predominantly fucking Christian. Like, very fucking Christian. And it's like, and these are one of the tenements of, you know, the Christian beliefs, especially in America, is that homosexuality and, you know, is a sin. I mean, and it's sad but true. Like, because I've grew up, like, in a fairly progressive, liberal type of church, you know, growing up a little bit, going to, you know, the different, like, church camps and stuff during the summer and stuff, which those weren't the concentration camps I was talking about earlier. These are just, like, your regular, you know, little church summer camp things that have the fun activities or whatever. But I remember specifically, though, one year, one of, like, our, like, you know, camp counselor guys, you know, that were with us, who was, like, one of the youth pastors, coming out as bisexual, and one of the main, problems of why he only came out kind of to us and shit, and why he trusts us, because, you know, the church did teach that homosexuality was a sin, despite being more of kind of a liberal-esque kind of church. Maybe not progressive-ish, you know, it kind of was to a degree, but when it came to certain social issues, no, they weren't. They were very fucking conservative. And, yeah, and this is one of them. And, you know, while being at least progressive-esque in different issues and shit, especially when it comes to, like, you know, the whole, like, all, you know, love and empathy stuff. And it's like, and he had a very major struggle of, like, even kind of coming out to us, being like, you know, because he felt like he'd be, you know, like, outcast or ashamed or, considered a sinner and shit. And at least in our, when, we had our own little, like, personal Bible study, whatever the fuck, when, he came out with us about it. And we all just kind of, like, cherry pick different, verses, frankly, about, like, how, it's okay. It's fine, dude. And, he was like, you're right. It's okay. Like, God still loves me, blah, 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 and all this other shit. So, I mean, at least from my experience, luckily, at least when it came to this whole, like homophobic stigma when it comes to, the extreme religiosity around here, it's not as strong. But I can imagine if that was in the fucking South, it'd be, like, or not even really in the South, but even like in Idaho or some shit, it'd be a way fucking different story about that. I mean, he'd probably be like, oh, well, you're a fucking sinner and this and that, blah, blah, and all this other shit. And, probably, at least, I mean, he was kind of an adult at this point. I think he was in his, like, 20s by that point. I don't remember, honestly. But, I mean, if he wasn't, if he was, like, at least, like, still, like, in his teens or something by that point, but just kind of, like, because we were, like, in element, I think I was in middle school at that point, so if he was youth pastor, he might have either been in high school or, in his early 20s as a young adult. But either way, like, if he wasn't, a young adult at that point, he probably would have been sent to one of those fucking camps if it was, like, some shit in the South. And I know, like, I hear a lot of, like, first-hand accounts of being in those fucking places, and they just are fucking concentration camps. And, like, hearing some of the details about how some of these camps, like, are kind of laid out, like, they are. Like, they have fucking straight-up barbed wire, they have, like, guards and shit, like, and, like, it's kind of scary. I'm just kind of fucking glad I don't live in an area that has, hopefully doesn't have shit like this. I didn't really have to grow up in that type of religious upbringing. Makes me honestly legit fucking thankful. But I still fucking feel for the victims that have to go for that shit. Because I know what type of fucking pain that can bring. Because I can tell. I can just kind of see it. Beyond what you personally and certain numbers across the country have been falling since the 90s. We're down to, like, they're struggling to make no mistake. I mean, I feel like that's kind of why, a lot of this whole religiosity in this country is being, especially from the far-right evangelicals, has been very aggressive. It's because of that in a lot of ways. Because, I mean, they are, and especially in recent times past, like, have been heavily challenged. A lot of the youth tend to not be as religious, and if they are, they're kind of more culturally, where it's like, yeah, I'm kind of a Christian, but, I only go to church on, like, Christmas and Easter and stuff like that. You'll get, like, cultural, like, religious people, that will basically go during the holidays, essentially. And, it's like, you're getting people who are not as, like, heavily involved in that type of culture, and the extremists and the more, like, heavily involved, people that basically make that a part of their culture, or what should be, like, the broader, culture and the way of things and shit, don't like that. They think that's bad. And they think that's, like, extreme and, kind of a threat to their broader way of life. Which, as far as I'm concerned, good. See this. Kate Brown empties organs death row. The governor will commute sentences to 17 people to life in prison without parole. Is that how many people are on death row in Oregon? Oh, yeah. Yep, it says right here. Yeah, sentences of all 17 people on death row in Oregon. They will become life sentences with no possibility of parole. Okay. So we still have the death penalty, but now literally nobody's on the list for the, like... That's kind of weird. Like, I find it funny how we still have that as, like, the law. Like, yeah, we have it, but we just never use it, like, ever. I mean, it's just like, okay. I mean, I guess we just have it there for giggles, I suppose, because no one bothers to just, like, legislate it out or something. It's just there, It's like, oh, what? Yeah, I know, right? I know, it's just so weird. It's like, I mean, if we obviously don't use it and don't think it's a good thing, I mean, then just get rid of it. Like, I mean, why do we just still have it? I mean, because on principle, I'm, against the death penalty and shit. I mean, I can, think of some exemptions or some exemptionary cases and stuff, but, like, overall, like, yeah, I mean, I want to, just have it, just around and shit. I mean, so, yeah, just get rid of it. There's no real reason for it. Especially if we only had, like, 17 people, like, honestly, it's like, what the fuck do the motherfuckers do anyways? Like, I mean, I guarantee you at least a couple of those people are probably not exactly, like, justifiably in there, So, I mean, I don't know. I'm saying at least some. I'm sure, honestly, a good chunk of those people probably deserve to be in there. But I have a feeling maybe a couple of those people maybe been falsely accused or aren't as guilty as is claimed or something. I don't fucking know. I'm pretty skeptical of our justice system, which is why, at least in America, I'm really just, again, I'm principle against the death penalty. In a perfect system, I would be, because then, like, when it came to that perfect system and perfect case scenario, like when these, scenarios pop up, then it'd be all right and, whatever, because, it's without a shadow of doubt, blah, blah, blah. But, like, it's America. We never get shit right. So, like, let's just, like, just nip that part in the bud, I mean, because our justice system's fucked. We really don't get shit right. So it's like, I mean, even with that logic alone, I'd be against it. Even if I do think on some principle level, like, well, I guess I kind of do, but, like, I mean, even then, it's just like, even though, like, a perfect system, like, or a perfect system type of thing with a justice system, it's just like, you don't necessarily have to do that, because if anything, if it's like a life without parole and you have a maximum security prison or some shit, you can at least do a psychological study of the person, right? Like, so you can kind of, like, figure out, like, what is about this person's brain, that made him do what they did, so we could at least try to, have, information, for us, and for society, when it comes to, like, potential red flags when it comes to having someone like that. So, I mean, I think, if anything, I think there's more benefit to doing something like that, more so than just, like, whacking a guy. So it's like, even in the perfect justice, I wouldn't necessarily be, like, 100% favor of death penalty, just kind of with that logic, because I think, it'd be more fruitful to, have them around just for neurological study and psychological study purposes, so we can, garner information about what makes them tick, basically. So then, we can use that to look out for those type of things in the future. So, counselors, psychologists, and etc. and of the like, can at least have that information and be able to kind of, like, help, look out for things like that and nip it in the bud, so that doesn't happen in the future. And obviously, you can't really, like, get everybody, when it comes to that type of thing, so to speak. I mean, it's always going to be, like, outliers or, slips through the cracks, but it will help minimize, a lot of these issues, though. That's why mental health is so fucking important in my mind. That's why, at least for me, I'm a major advocate for it, because, like, I mean, it's, like, I really do think, a lot of different issues, especially when it comes to, like, crimes of poverty, or like, when it comes to, like, addiction, or when it comes to violence, in whatever form it comes in, when it comes to criminality in the country and shit. Like, a lot of that, I do think, has a role of mental health that, is a major player in a lot of these issues. And frankly, we really do have Reagan to thank for basically just gutting our entire mental health care system in this country. Even though it wasn't even good, it was very fucking flawed. But instead of doing mass reformation and actually making it a better ethical system, he decided to just destroy it and just, like, not make it a thing anymore, basically. So instead of, like, reforming and actually making a more humane, better system that actually, prioritizes, mental health and, like, acclimating to that instead of just basically, like, lobotomizing people and drugging people and doing weird-ass experiments or some shit. Like, all sorts of crazy things. I mean, like, a lot of asylums have done crazy fucking shit. But, like, instead of changing, how they operate, and then, when it comes to the treatment of the people, just shut them down. So I guess Sal Reagan thought. So now at this point, we're kind of are suffering the consequences of that type of shit. Because mental health is not even really much of a consideration at this point. Or even really form a discussion, as a topic, and when it comes to actually addressing these issues. I think when it comes to a lot of these different issues, like when it comes to things like gun violence, or just like, gang violence, or crimes of poverty, and all these other issues, or when it comes to like self-harm and all this other shit, a lot of this is mental health issues and shit. I mean, obviously, there's other variables to it when it comes to these things, and, those obviously should be addressed as well, but, like, I mean, it feels like, when it comes to, like, just people's general mental health, that just doesn't seem like, it gets brought up when it comes to a lot of these other issues, because they really should. Because they really play a major fucking role. Like, because, I mean, it's not just, the easy accessibility when it comes to firearms, like, when it comes to a lot of shooters and shit, it's also the fact that they're not mentally well whatsoever, and they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And obviously the accessibility and the fact that people like, who are not exactly mentally well can have that access is most certainly a fucking problem, and it absolutely needs to be addressed. The fact that they're also mentally unwell also needs to be addressed, and the fact that, we don't have anything in place to address these type of issues is a major fucking problem, and in some ways, kind of a more bigger glaring problem in my mind. Because, like, if we, don't address, people's mental health and have something in place to help address these issues, then we're just going to continue to see these type of problems, continue, maybe not as, to the same rate that we do, but we're going to still see these issues, and probably in different forms, and maybe even worse forms in some ways. It's like, I mean, that, it's like that is something that really needs to be kind of a highlight when it comes to some of these issues, because it just isn't, I just feel like it just doesn't get addressed enough. Mental health is a major problem, when it comes to this country. Not because it's like some plight, but because we just don't, consider it. Like, because, having good mental health, whether we're neurodivergent or not, like, I mean, it's important. It makes us less cuckoo, and less likely to do something drastic or harmful or, irrational and shit. I mean, it's definitely important. Like, I mean, like, if there are definitely people out there, that can at least address their own mental health in their own ways and be able to acclimate and adapt and overcome, basically, or whatever. But, like, not everyone's, really got those options or those abilities or a little both. Like, I mean, sometimes they need the extra help, but there's no options or anything available either way. And some people don't really necessarily need help, but they don't have the options either, so, I mean, it's just a very important issue that needs to be, like, more discussed, overall. I do think, more younger people, at least, I think, like, Gen Z and younger, I think, are kind of trying to bring it more up as an issue, but, like, I feel like at least, people who are, like, my age or older probably should kind of bring it up a lot more fucking often. Instead of, like, highlighting, already common issues that everyone knows. Like, mental health does seem like, an issue that everybody, even if they know, don't really necessarily, like, really know, like, how big of an actual issue it can, really is. Or don't take it seriously. It's like, oh yeah, it needs to be addressed, yeah, sure, but, like, anyway, it's like, are you taking it seriously at that point? I mean, because it really should be. I'm just kind of glad that, at least, from my own personal experience, I was able to at least have resources and different things available to where, I can at least have, mental health addressed. And that doesn't go just for me, but, people, that, grew up in the same area that I did. And are still growing up in the area that I did. So I'm glad that at least around here, that at least is a more localized effort with these things too. But that's an outlier, unfortunately. Like, that's not exactly a commonality. That's an outlier. It's like, fuck. Can that be more common, please? Like, mental health awareness and, like, a literal, like, mental health and wellness center in schools and stuff. Like, can like, all schools have this? That's, like, heavily funded and stuff? No? Okay, we suck. Okay, I see how it is. Still going strong, I see. Well, I mean, I've only gone for just 3 hours, just a tad over. I mean, I've gone for that long. I mean, I guess about average length. I don't know what you think. Well, I was gonna like just roll over and puke over or something like that, and just be like, bleh. It's like pass out or something. I mean, kind of started to stream a little closer to like 11. So it's like, I mean, all in all, I haven't really been going on that long. I just started it late. I mean, I still got about like a little over a third of this can. I might, all things considered, since it's a little late anyway, I'll probably at least let this can be my my little ticker for being like, all right, we're good. But still a pretty decent amount in there. You know what? Let's use this can to react to a thing. Let's see. Is there a thing? So I could swore I saw like a humus record clip, but I think it. Oh well, god damn it. I don't know where that went. Where'd it go? Fuck. I'm gonna try to find it. Where the fuck did it go? Where did the video go? Boo! God damn it. Don't recognize the thumbnail as one of the more recent ones, and I actually watched all of the most recent ones. God, what? What the hell? Must have been an older video. Why do I get recommended older videos? Like, what the fuck? Honestly, it hasn't really been much going on for today, I guess, when it comes to, like, news shit, because there hasn't really been much. Boo! I don't like that. It sucks. Rather than just literally get more memes than anything. YouTube's just like, nah, it's a meme night. That's what you're getting. It's like, come on. Maybe I don't want a goddamn meme. I've already had my fill of memes. Like, this is pretty much, like, literally a summary of, like, the goddamn, like, YouTube, like, shit. It's like, memes, baby bat burritos, which honestly, they look goddamn fucking adorable, I will admit. They look so cute in their little burritos. But it's just like, oh my god. Like, what the hell? Does, like, my entire feed have to basically be videos like that? It's like, does YouTube not know what I do sometimes? I guess it doesn't. I guess it don't. Which is some bullshit. That's some bullshit around there, I'll tell you what. Ugh. Oh, there's always White Ring Watch. Yeah, here. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what was like the most recent thing. MAGA pastor. Uh-oh. Oh boy. MAGA pastor Shane Vo wants election rules changed because Republicans keep losing. Alright, hold up. We'll listen to this. Have you ever seen Dead End? It's Ixon's horror movie, 2003. Have not.
Republican president is the Electoral College because we cannot defeat the illegal immigration. We cannot defeat the population centers without the Electoral College. Now, I said all that.
Yeah, because if there wasn't the Electoral College, there would be a thing called popular vote, and those population centers would have more... He looks like a little sad potato. He looks like a little sad bean right here. But it's just like those population centers would, I don't know, be the more dominant, like, voice of the vote, because, I don't know, like, those are population centers. Why is there talking Mr. Potato Head on screen? I don't know. Defeat the population centers. Is that a goal? Yeah, that is their goal. Or is his mustache? I don't know where his mustache is. You know what? I'm sorry I have Mr. Potato Head on screen. This is Shane Viral. This is Shane Viral. I mean, so I don't know. He's a Fruit Loop.
To Georgia last week on Tuesday night, we were all watching. And what is
we're all watching.
From top to bottom, across the whole thing, what color is Georgia? Why? It's all red, is it not?
No, it's not really. It kind of turned blue a little bit now, didn't it?
State.
Wait, hold on. What was he yelling here?
Why? It's all red, is it not?
Is it not?
The entire state is conservatives.
Are you sure about that?
All rushing to the polls. They came to the polls that day and blew the numbers out the water. And they were winning their state. They were turning their state in the right direction until they hit that blue area called Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh my god, I'm so glad I fucking played this. Holy shit. That blue wall that is Atlanta, Georgia. I tell you what there, son. Like, what the fuck is he trying to mimic? Like, he looks like some random ass, like, Mr. Potato Head wannabe motherfucker. But he also is trying to sound like some random, like, aristocratic, like, plantation owner at the same time. So I do declare that when that red wave was about to win Georgia, and I do it was only halted by the fact of the good, grand, devious wall that was the blue Atlanta, Georgia. I tell you what. It's like, oh my god. Like, what is the fuck is this? Like, oh my god. Dude, I kind of like him. Not because of anything about his it's just his personality. Like, fuck everything else about him. You look like his personality. I kind of like a little bit. I kind of. You sound like the rubbery necked lawyer for. I kind of did. I mean, but like he's trying to do that a little bit because the rubber necked lawyer from Dark Matter 2525 is trying to mimic the Yes, good sir, I'm a good southern boy. Like, it's trying to mimic that, and he's doing the same thing. It's like, oh my god, look, he just looks like a potato, bro. Like, holy shit. Dude, oh my, this is like a peak potato. This is like peak potato form. Like, holy shit, I think we truly found, like, peak potato form. I want to hear,
Good try,
hold on.
Georgia.
Georgia.
And now, good try, all you great citizens of Georgia. Thank you for coming to the polls, but you have a problem. Your voice doesn't matter.
What the? Oh my god! What is... Oh my god, okay, see what I mean a little bit? I kinda like him. I kinda like him a little bit. Oh my god. This is fucking... Holy shit, he's so unintentionally fucking funny. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god, he's so fucking funny. Oh my god. This is beautiful. I love this guy. This is great. This is so good. This is awesome. This is awesome. I voted. It sure looks like counted me. Yeah, I mean, it sure did. I mean, I think this is like another reverse oracle. I think there's more than one reverse oracle. We know there's at least one reverse oracle. That's Tim Pool. But I think there's another one. Because the exact opposite of what he's saying is essentially like, like, it's like opposite day. Like, take what he says and just the exact opposite is, what's actually, the thing. And Tim Pool is basically the reverse oracle, and, like, he's never predicted anything correct in his life. So, hence why he's the original reverse oracle. But I think we have another one. I think this is another one. And honestly, his whole, like, demeanor and character, whatever the fuck he's doing, I love it. It's awesome. It's just great. This is awesome. He's actually, do you know it was restricted people barred by bullshit voter ID laws? Yeah. I just don't get how he has an audience. I just want TJ to go on his show and just, like, take his beanie off and just, like, fucking make a mockery of him. I really just hope that is just what TJ's intentions are. Like, let the first hour, like, let him butter up Tim Pool a little bit. Let him get butter up. Have his guard down. And then I just hope after, like, 30, 40, an hour about, like, after some time, I just want him to just fucking lay on him. Just lay the fuck on him. And just stand up and just snag that beanie from his damn head so we can see what's going on underneath his head. Because that motherfucker has got a hardcore bald spot. I don't even think he has any hair. Like, have we seen Tim Pool with hair? Like, we just see him with nothing but a beanie. Like, there ain't no hair in there. In fact, I barely think there's a head there. I think it's like some Android, like, electronical, like, wires and shit going on back there. He's like the first, like, successful, like, Android that also does music every now and then.
The majority.
You want to hear one of his songs after this? I don't think anyone does, but I think I might just say fuck you and towards you.
Your voice doesn't matter because you don't have the majority of the population. So therefore, you really shouldn't have even shown up to vote.
What is, okay, well, like, so that nullifies the whole idea of trying to, like, I see where he's going with that. But, it nullifies the whole point of trying to change the system unless you have other motives. Which I saw where that is, like, that, like, honestly, I'm going to vote just despite this guy. I mean, honestly, it don't even matter because he's advocating not to vote, and honestly, I know why. Because he's dog whistling, to coup the system, basically. Like, Jan 6 the system, essentially. Like, that's what he's advocating for. That was a dog whistle. Like, it sounds harmless. Like, just don't even bother, huh? You know, it's like, but it's because we have other ulterior motives to garner power because we still want that. You know, so it's like that straight up was just right there a dog whistle. Like, especially considering he's a pastor and knowing that a lot of, especially these southern pastors, these southern gentlemen, you know, happen to also be, you know, I don't know, frankly fucking psychotic. It's like, yeah, they most certainly are going to, you know, they got other ulterior motives when they say, don't even bother showing up to the polls. There's other ulterior motives why they say that. That's why in Arizona, they were, well, not voting necessarily, but they showed up to the polls for different reasons, intimidating other people.
In the population centers. And I looked across that state and I said, you know what? Everyone in that state is a conservative.
Oh my God, I love this guy. Everyone in that state, literally every individual in the state's conservative. Besides that Atlanta, Georgia. I tell you what, those censor sons of bitches. Also, you know, that kind of implies that, you know, some racist shit because he probably thinks Atlanta, Georgia is just full of black people. So that's why he thinks they're all Democrats and all this other bullshit. Like, I guarantee you that is exactly why he thinks it too, if you actually ask him. He hasn't said it, but I'm just going to make a very strong assumption that is very likely correct that that's probably why. Like, he was talking about the whole illegal border, blah, blah, blah. He mentioned that at the very beginning. I remember that. So he's definitely got, you know, some garnish of racism for sure. I mean, he's a MAGA chud, so, I mean, he certainly does. But outside of those black Atlanta Georgians, I tell you what, I mean, everyone in the state is just blood conservative, tell you what. Which is bullshit.
Nuts. And that's when it hit me like a stroke of genius.
A stroke of genius? Are we sure about that, buddy? Are we sure about that, my good southern brother? Because I'm not too sure about that. Dude, oh my God, I kind of unironically love this guy. Holy shit, he's fucking great. Oh my God. I can't help but fucking just burst into laughter with this dude. I can't take him seriously. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh, dude. Oh my God, this guy's great. Holy shit. I cannot, man, I tried to take him seriously for a second because it was actually kind of like, oh, I heard that dog whistle, yeah, that was a little, but, oh my God, like, everything else in between, holy fuck, oh my God, holy shit, this guy's fucking awesome. The only stroke this guy will have is going to be within a decade. Oh my God. Dude, yeah, definitely.
Founding fathers feared for the nation, but what they feared for the
Wait, what?
That's what the founding fathers feared for the nation, but what they feared for the nation is happening in the states.
What, are you speaking to, like, the long-lost dead corpses of the Founding Fathers and understanding exactly, like... Bitch? Excuse me?
A senator is just like the office of the president. It is a state...
Wait. Hold on.
The office of a senator is just like the office of the president.
Oh my fucking God! Are you? Well, yes, you actually are. Like, are you retarded? And yes, you a senator is. What are you talking about? You mean a governor? You mean a governor? Because the governor of a state is that's what it. Oh my god, I'm about to have an aneurysm. Oh, holy fuck. What? Dude, are you... It's not a state senator that has, like... Oh my god, it's the governor. The governor's like the equivalent of a president for a state. That's basically, like... It's not a state senator, you fucking... A state senator would be the equivalent of a senator of the federal government, you idiot! Oh my god. What? Oh my god. That hurt me. That hurt me. That actually hurt me. I thought, considering this political jingle bullshit he's spewing, I figured he would have at least known that. That just hurt me. I couldn't even laugh at that. That just hurt me.
Statewide campaign. It is statewide. Therefore, I am of the opinion that the only way to save the Senate in the United States of America is that the Senate election should also be done by the Electoral College of a state.
Huh? Considering you don't even know what the fuck a state senator does, thinking that it apparently has similar powers to a president, which would actually be a governor, and even then they really don't, but they're basically the equivalent of what like a president would be for the state. Huh? What? I don't know! I don't know, man! I don't know. This guy's great. I don't know. Dude, Shane Va? Please tell me this is satire. No, he's not. I guarantee you he's not. Hold on. You know what? I kind of want to look him up now. I want to see Shane Va. Is there? Oh, he has a YouTube page. He has a YouTube page. I found an actual sermon. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. We're not watching all this, but we're going to skim this. Let's see here. Oh my god, I can't believe we found this. Oh shit. Oh, he's walking around here. Oh shit, he's walking around for this. Oh shit. He's getting passionate about this shit. Let's see what the fuck is he wearing? Oh my god, what is he wearing? What the fuck is this? Oh my god, what is this? He wants each state to have their own electoral college. What sense does that make? I don't know. Dude, okay. I don't even know if I want to play this. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I'm ready for that. You know what? Fuck it. You know what? We're here. We are here. Let's do it. Now I really feel like I need another can, but I know this is. We're just gonna skim. We're just gonna skim a little bit. We're just gonna play like. I want to say a minute, but I know it's not going to be a minute. We'll see. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. What?
She was his wife. She was saved. She had the Holy Ghost. She was the church.
You know what's fucking crazy is that I know all these little weird ass mannerisms that he's doing. I've seen pastors of many of different types of sects and different religions do the exact same shit that he's doing. I know the vibe that he's doing. He's like, and it's kind of a more softer version of what Pentecostals do a lot. If you want to kind of see like the more radical examples of what he's doing, look at Pentecostal churches.
But the king said, here's what I want to do. I want to display my wife to the whole world.
Whoa! Who was that guy? Who the fuck was that? What is going on? Oh my god. I'm kind of speechless, to be honest. I mean, because, frankly, I don't know what he's talking about, and I don't even know if I want to know. But, like, I mean, what is going on? Look at that guy! He was like, yes!
To see an obedient wife. That's every man's desire, an obedient wife. He said, I want everybody to see how obedient my wife is. So here's what he did. He said, tell her to present herself on the 7th day of the week. Tell her, don't come on the 1st day. And don't come on the 6th day. You tell my true wife, my true bride, to show up here on the 7th day. Woo! Now, he loved Vashti. She didn't love him.
Oh my god, what is going on? Base, I don't know the exact story of what he's talking about, because obviously I kind of bumped into it. I know the whole reason why he's telling the story, because he's basically, using the story as a sermon to talk about obedience of your wife, and basically how they need to be the, homemaker and all that shit. Very misogynistic stuff, so... Oh, wait, he's getting hella personal to people, just not even shortly after that. Oh, God, this looks good. This looks good right here.
Every man get it.
What is she doing? Hold on, what was going on here? Oh, we gotta lead up to that. What was going on there?
This is the message.
What was she doing?
At the end time, the voice of Elijah. Get your house in order. Every man get it in order. You may be seated.
He had no reason to say that. There was just literally a lot of people just standing around being like, yes! He had to actually command them to... God, this shit's so fucking creepy, dude. A bit of similar environments to this. I'm actually kind of freakishly having some flashbacks a little bit, not gonna lie.
And let's go down to about verse number 7. And he brought up...
Of what? He said Elijah. Does he mean like...
Of that, and he brought up Hadassah.
It's fucking weird. I'm familiar with this stuff. It's creepy. Michael's church is like this. One was smoking tons, and I thought she was having a seizure. The church that I went to growing up, there was times where people would speak in tongues. My mom is straight fucking did that shit, dude. It is, dude. I've seen I've seen the whole tongue speak more than I wish to care. One is that, by the way, one's more than enough, and I've seen that more than that, at least a dozen or so times, because it's literally just gobbledygook. It's just like it's just that. It's literally just random shit like that. And every now and then you might murmur a word some shit like that. Or praise Jesus. It's just really legit freaky shit like that, dude. I don't know. You know what? Maybe if we skip far ahead, we might see some of that going on here. I don't know. Let's see. Well, he's getting tense over here. I don't know.
All these other days are evil. All these other days are bad. But when the queen rises, it's going to be a good day.
Oh my God, that sounded evil. Oh my God! Oh Lord, have mercy! Oh no! That sounded sinister and dark and evil. Dude, dude, honestly, this is something that he does specifically. He's doing these, like, like, these laughs and shit, dude. Like, it's fucking creepy. Like, there's something about his sermons that are just actually creepy. Like, I have not really seen pastors be like, like, laugh and shit as much as he does. Every time I've skimmed around here so far, there's been times where he's like, like, laughing and really kind of, like, maniacally, like, this, like, oh my god, I'm so glad I found this guy. Holy shit. Because this dude is, like, I don't even think I've seen, like, Steve Anderson, you know, as much of a misogynistic pig dog as he is. I don't even think I've seen him act like this. And he gets pretty passionate like this guy. So it's like, that whole laughter shit that he's been doing is legit unique to this dude. And it's really adding this really kind of creepy, sinister vibe that I am feeling. Like, here, telepathically, like, almost, it's just like, there's seriously some bad fucking shit going on here. I don't know what, but there's, like, some bad shit happening, and it's not good. It's some, like, dark enchanted ritual shit, like, straight up, like, he's summoning dark demons in his fucking bedroom or something, dude. Like, he's summoning demons in his church. Like, this is some, seriously, like, some freaky shit. Like, it's so fucking creepy.
Notice the next line.
Like, how's the people who get about 5 minutes of exercise a month telling everyone they need to rise up and revolt? I know, right? Movie slap, smoke, meth, hail Satan, bumper stickers on all the overcompensating trucks in one of these churches. I'd do it. I'd be down for it. And, like, trans lives matter flags and stuff like that or something.
Line of all. And many of the people of the land, the Gentiles, all became Israel.
Oh, some Zionism, you know, garnished in there because he's evangelicals. Well, I guarantee he's probably kind of anti-Semitic as fuck. They have this weird idea that, oh, you know, while they probably have their weird anti-Semitism and shit, they do have, like, they are still kind of Zionistic and shit in the sense of that, basically, that, you know, the Jewish people and the Israelites need to have greater Israel to fulfill the prophecy of Jesus returning, which the policies of the current Israeli government literally, basically, you know, ghettoizing and, you know, slowly, you know, but surely, like, pretty much, like, genociding fucking Palestinians, you know, off their land and shit, like, is a part of that prophecy, which is why it's so fucking heavily justified and shit, and it's just basically kind of, like, carte blanche okay. You know, there's a lot of cultural, like, religiosity, like, similarities, you know, when it comes to, you know, these ideas and shit. And despite, you know, maybe I don't know if this guy outright is anti-Semitic, but I have a strong hunch he probably is. But despite that, like, there's a very strong idea of this because, like, a part of Revelations is that the holy people essentially go to heaven and, you know, like, all of them do. And a part of that is because, well, they kind of all die. That's kind of the point. Because to go to heaven, you have to shed your mortal coil on the earth, and so it's like, I mean, it's, you know, hence the whole rapture and shit. Like, I mean, that's kind of the thing. It's like, you know, oh, they're, you know, have their land, Jesus comes back, the rapture happens, and all the chosen people, including, you know, all the righteous people as well on top of that, you know, gets to heaven, blah, 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 blah. And that kind of basically is the idea of, like, oh, you know, you basically wipe them out almost because they go to heaven. Like, that's kind of the idea, is that they die, you know, in some way. And a part of Revelations, at least, is a lot of, like, holy fire and stuff like that and shit, which people, you know, at least in a modern sense, analogize to things like nuclear warfare and shit, which considering a lot of these death cultists and considering knowing that we have that type of tech that can, and they're analogous, towards, holy fire and, well, nuclear fire and shit, like, they outright advocate for shit like this. And this is the reason why a lot of people, including me, call Christianity and a lot of these type of religions kind of death cults, because they are. Because they essentially want to fulfill the whole Revelations prophecy of, like, basically engulfing the earth in holy fire, and the righteous chosen, good people of God or Allah, whatever the fuck, basically go to heaven, and all the unrighteous people and the unchosen, undesirables go to hell. And, the earth is cleansed and shit, basically. That's the whole idea. Which, what a great fucking idea to, try to fulfill as a prophecy, What a great idea. What a good thing, for, just to be pushed. Yeah, great stuff. Good stuff. Awesome. Good. Great shit. Good content. Magnificent. Being very sarcastic. It's one of the perks, I guess, of growing up around this shit. You get to kind of understand about how some of the lore is. And it's fucking terrifying. And knowing how they want to fulfill it is even more scary. More coil, like, is it like a hermit crab? Is it like a hermit crab? Holy fire. You and I are going to punch a seraphim in the face. Dude, fuck yeah. That'd be cool.
It wasn't about the first harvest. That was the starting point. But on that day, all the people will become Israel.
Oh god, dude, they're adding the music. That made it. God, that actually made it so fuck. Oh my god. Holy fuck, that was actually freaky, dude. That music made it actually, like, God, that actually sent some shivers down my spine, dude. What the fuck? Not a good way. See how, like, some people, if they're, like, just, like, so, desperate enough, they can kind of, like, get enthralled in something like this? Because if I was just, like, some random desperate bastard on the street trying to find, like, some meaning in my life or some shit, and I happen to walk into this guy's church, see how, like, oh, that little shiver down my spine, for me, would be like, oh, God, but if I was, like, some random motherfucker, like I was just mentioning, they'd be like, oh, he's right, maybe. I felt something with that. Oh, like, maybe there's something to this. It's like, there's a lot of people that get manipulated, by this type of shit. And it's all performance. It's all performance art. I mean, and that's kind of the freaky thing about it. As much as it's a performance art, for a motherfucker like this, because all he is, especially in his little grand church that he happens to be in, like, he's raking in a lot of fucking money doing it. And that's why he does it. Fundamentally at the end of the day. But he perpetrates and advocates, for this whole fucking ideology that a lot of people that can be, desperate enough and manipulated enough to believe it. And that's kind of scary, freaky shit. Like, soon all, the people will be, like, of Israel or whatever the fuck he just said it, and then that, like, whoa! Like, with that, it's like, that's some sinister shit. Like, that's some freaky shit right there. And honestly, with the whole idea of, like, the whole greater Israel idea, too, when it comes tied in with the whole Zionistic idea that a lot of evangelicals like this guy believe, it's kind of freaky. Especially considering how extremists they tend to be with the idea. Because it's like, all of the people, like, what? Like, the whole planet? So the whole planet's going to be, like, this whole greater Israel idea? Like, it's freaky. It's creepy. And it's extremist as fuck, and it's like, can we not have that, please? Can we not have this weird, crazy, religious, like, world government? Like, that sounds horrible. Sounds evil. Sounds terrifying. No. Oh, God. Ugh. Man, I honestly am kind of glad I found this dude, because holy shit. Why was it all black there? Oh God, was there something that we shouldn't be seeing? It is! Like, what is going on? Oh my God. Why is it all black here? To turn it off, there was some stuff that should not have been publicly revealed. The Gentiles are not allowed to see this. There's a period right here where only the true loyals in the church are able to see. Oh, damn, bro. Dude, it's like a straight, like, couple minutes here. What the fuck? Dude, this is kind of creepy, too. Like, why is the live stream cut off for a very specific amount of time? And then it's just back, and it's just like... Oh, goddamn! Whoa! Holy shit! I was not ready for that. I was straight not ready for that. Whoa, what was that? That was the singing. That was the songs. This is the Christian song stuff. And hold on, let me turn this down for a sec. I mean, it's just basically like you're like, it's kind of like that upbeat church music shit. So he has this all shit psychologically on lockdown, dude. Because obviously that music is gonna be like, dude, anyone kind of like, I was kind of bumping to that beat. Like, I mean, whatever he was playing was kind of a bop. I mean, instrumentally, whatever the fuck he's preaching, like, but. You know, hey, at least he has decent musicians. They're playing a bop a little bit. I mean, I don't get mad, but like, I mean, whatever he's like singing for that, just give me instrumentals. I want the instrumentation for that beat. I just want the instrumentals, and that's it. I can sing my own stuff over that. I'll just make it about singing just to spite this bastard. Probably at annual stage. Probably. I don't know. Who knows? This guy's psycho. He's got some random lady with him now over there. It's like, just literally only one comment to this. What's it say? It literally just says amen by some person named Barb. Literally Barb. I'm not even kidding. It's Barb. Barb Atkinson or some shit. I'm Barb and amen. That's literally it. Just amen. Nothing else. Nothing more. Wow. Enlightening. What an amazing sermon. Oh my god. Holy shit. Wow. I'm partly speechless to that a little bit. I'm like glad, but also just regret discovering this dude. But, I mean, you know, like, he's funny. He actually does kind of give me some weird sense of joy. But honestly, those sermons are actually fucking creepy. I mean, I think his interview version of himself is okay, but the sermon stuff is actually legit kind of sinister. Like, that is some creepy shit. My god, dude. What's funny is that in the Bible, too, is that they, you know, talk about, like, false preachers and, you know, those that, you know, are basically doing Satan's work and shit, that masquerade as preachers and shit. And honestly, like, especially with some of the descriptions of that in the Bible and stuff, that guy is basically numero uno, number one, as an example of who that would be. Funny enough. Probably doesn't talk about that on the Bible. Well, no, he does, actually. He will mention those verses, I guarantee you. Probably not in that sermon, but he probably has multiple different times for, like, these more liberal churches that exist. Not for himself, even though that's, funny enough, in the Bible is actually depicting motherfuckers like him, specifically. Christians don't have to worry about that because every single one of them has read it. Yeah. Well, and also, especially, you know, a lot of atheists and agnostics, too. And anti-theists and shit. Because I have. And good reason for it, too, because, I mean, I've grown up with, some of that type of shit, and I know how it works and to a degree. And it hasn't changed at all since I've grown up with it. And honestly, it hasn't changed, when my mom was growing up with it. It's like, it ain't that different. So it's like, all the shit that comes from it, like, still the same information, still the same stuff that you can, take from it and learn from it. Not like the theremin stuff, but, like, of how it works and how to go against it and combat and shit. I just, like, fucking just envy the bastards and sons of bitches that never had to grow up with that in the first place. Like, you lucky bastards. But hey, value us that had to go through it, because we know some information. We got the inside knowledge. I mean, especially the ones that have, like, really been into shit. Like, conversion therapy camp shit, stuff like that. Like, those are the peoples that have really been, like, in it. I've only been, like, on the surface level. But I've seen enough to know, even in my own personal experience, like, some of the damages that shit can do. But, again, like, it's far more, like, aggressive and far more devastating and dangerous, a lot of other places in the country and shit. Like I said, like, people like me, that have kind of grown up with it and obviously have, are against it, fundamentally and shit, and know the wrongs of, what can be, that come and, sprout out from this type of shit. It's like, I mean, our type of voices seem to be kind of at least a little part of that, just, in the sense of, like, we know how it works. We have been in those environments. We know how people can get clicked into that type of shit. We know how people get sucked in. It's like, we know how pastors work and how they operate and how their performance is and what they do and how they manipulate, psychologically, different people when it comes to this type of shit, and how they cherry pick certain things and how certain sermons are themed in very certain ways. Like how that guy did. Like, he started with the shit about, like, some stuff domestically, like with the family, with, like, how the wife needs to be obedient and all this other shit. And then he started talking about more grander stuff and got more bigger and stuff. Like, these are very specific things, and it's all purposeful of how they do it. I mean, it's, like, it can be very sinister shit. I mean, in a lot of ways, I mean, sure, like, I mean, there can be some, like, churches out there, that are definitely pretty progressive and, push legitimate empathy and helping thy neighbor and stuff like that. But, some of the stuff that is actually, at least in multiple verses throughout the Bible, at least, kind of pushed a little bit. It's like, I mean, they're, with that, within their flock, there's always going to be some motherfuckers in there that are, despite that, right-wing as fuck, and cherry-pick and misinterpret even their stuff for their more grander shit. And, they might be long-term members just because it's, like, the church of their community, or they might just, be around because, oh, it's another church, Hey, I'm a church fella, so I'm gonna go, check this church out for a little bit. I mean, it's just like, I mean, either way, it's all kind of a damage, to me at least, kind of some damaging shit, unless, like, there's kind of another Reformation period for Christianity, I guess. I mean, like, unless something like that happens, which I don't necessarily see happening, honestly. I see more of a mass movement towards, like, agnosticism or, like, atheism happening more so than that, which I guess would probably kickstart a reformation within Christianity, so they're, like, more palatable for people, I suppose, so, man, but I don't know. I guess that, hasn't been foretold yet. We don't know how that'll work. What Christians don't have to worry about that because, oh wait, I already read that part. Blowing ass over the church somewhere would be pretty fitting, actually. It kind of would. Because they're all sniffing their own farts anyway, so they might as well add some real ones to it. Man, this chair is getting cranky. Oh, it's not doing it now. Hey, boo-boo. Want a little treat? Here you go. You're being a little good boy today. Little sweet thing. Oh, what a little goof. Anyway, I gotta get this last little bowl smoked up and then get myself some good old food and all that shit. Thinking when it falls for that shit should not be a problem because then you can get into shit like fake feeling. Yeah. I kind of honestly tend to agree with that for the most part. Because, you know, I guess exceptions to the rule and stuff, but yeah, it does leave a lot of skepticism about their parenting when it comes to that shit. But anyway, gotta get myself some food, all that fun shit, so peace out. Of course, I just see all that next one, so